Welcome to the Dojo Talk Podcast. Please remove them shoes before entry.
Sam Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Looking to the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you. Blind ambition.
Justin Wren.
Yeah.
There we go. Just popped into my head, of course.
The pygmy guy. I think that's the name of the people here.
I think that's his gimmick, yeah. Was like, oh no, come on now. All right.
No, Ren's a good guy.
It's not a gimmick to him, but they sure do bring that shit up a whole lot. So it's
They
a
do.
gimmick to somebody.
Oh man, I feel like the way this intro goes, we just should have started. I think I'm just gonna start. I think we're gonna do this again 2 weeks in a row. All right, we're starting. We started with the pygmy people, so. Oh man.
What an intro.
Right. Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. We're on episode number 52. A really, really good week of fights, or a decent week. I'm kind of in a bad mood because I came back from work this week after being on vacation. So I'm going to try not to be too salty. But we got a great episode ahead. We have a guest who I will let introduce himself.
Oh, well, all right. I'm Joey from the Sports Soundoff. If you follow either of these two guys, you probably have seen some of the bad stuff that I do. I'm the worst half of the Sports Soundoff, but I'm the only one they could afford, so I'm here. I just want to give a shout out to all my pygmy people out there who who may be listening. And I'm ready. I'm happy to be here, and I'm ready to talk about some fight pass fights from Poland.
Oh man. I guess real quick, we had a lot of pre-roll record banner. I'll just throw a quick get well wish on a basketball note. Gordon Hayward, for anybody who is a basketball fan, probably suffered one of the worst injuries I've seen in a long time. That was like a week ago now, though, right?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure by the time you guys hear this, you've seen the injury. But in the first 6 minutes of the game against the Cavs, I think Kyrie threw a lob pass or something, and he went up for it, didn't get it, came down awkwardly, to say the least, on his foot, and his entire, ankle/foot literally twisted all the way backwards. And last I heard, I think he had the surgery, and apparently the surgery went well, but I'm pretty sure he's still out for the remainder of the season. And
yes.
If by miracle he does play, it probably wouldn't be until playoff time. But yeah, well wishes to him. That was a gruesome injury. Yeah.
Is it just me, or is it just every year with basketball, somebody gets terribly hurt on the very first day?
I feel like it's sports in general because I haven't watched really a lot of NFL this year, but every week I see a headline, somebody Rodgers just got his collarbone broken. Yeah, people are dropping everywhere, and yeah, I don't know what's going on, but stretch before the game, I don't know. Well, stretch can't help Hayward. I don't. You can't help that, but I don't know, man. It's weird. But I guess just to get started, so we got a lot to cover. Hopefully we can get to it all. Real quick, I don't know, you guys want to jump to Bellator or just do fight announcements first?
Whatever.
Want me to read some of these headlines off that I have in front of me, and you guys can react to them in any way you feel. Any way you feel.
I mean, we already pissed off the pygmy market, so now we're really down on it. I feel like that needs some context.
Shouts to Justin Wren.
There we go.
There we
We
go.
were talking about Justin Wren, and he was mentioned as the pygmy guy. So it's well, they may be listening. Got to give them love too.
We do.
I mean, we did get a like from Adam Milstead and Aaron Pico on Instagram
We did.
Oh, that's cool.
We learned the secret to success. Get people more popular than us.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a nobody until Thiago Moreta gave me a shout out, and now I'm a little bit less of a nobody. I'm a half nobody.
Every point counts.
Yeah.
All right. So to this fight news real quick.
Let's go.
UFC signed the King of Kung Fu, Muslim Salikov. He'll be fighting in China. He'll be fighting Alex Garcia of TriStar. And just a little heads up, like when King of Kung Fu isn't like a nickname, he's legitimately probably the greatest Kung Fu guy to ever compete in Sanda. He's like a 5-time world champion.
Can I throw a quick note in about TriStar? Is it me, or have they not been on a great roll lately either? So we mentioned like Jackson's too, and I feel like they've kind of.
Well, Canada just sucks.
Wow.
It does. Like if you're an MMA fighter in Canada, like your options are so limited.
Yeah, we've kind of discussed this before, but it feels like TriStar has a mold. You have to fit that mold to perfection, or you do not.
You're success.
Yeah, you're one of the, like, Alex Garcia is one of those guys who, and I'm curious to see how Zahabi's his brother or his cousin does. It's like a very simplistic jab style. Like, it's all based off a jab. It's a little bit of everything mixed in at once, and it doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody's going to be Rory McDonald, obviously, but it's like they're really limited in how they approach some of these guys.
Yeah, like it's one size fits all.
Yes, basically. Perfect.
And I really want to know, like when Alex Garcia just rolled up to the gym and was like, I want to be a pro fighter, did like Zahabi just look at him and like start having migraines because just looking at him and like if you see him like hit the heavy back for like 5 seconds, you know he's not built for the TriStar game plan.
Yeah. Could you imagine that guy and Papi Abedi in a fight? Like, you want to sell some tickets, man.
Oh.
Nobody even...
Throw that on a poster?
Yeah.
That's $1 million buys.
Does Papi still fight? Whatever happened to him? I have not heard that name in a long time.
Modeling at this point.
I mean, if he's not, he's wasting his time.
For real, I mean, like, that's not a knock on the guy. You look like that, you need to be in some kind of modeling.
While you ring off fight announcements, I'm going to research Mr. Papi Abedi, if I can even spell his name right.
All right,
so,
we got another one for the USADA pool. Another casualty, Mr. Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, Little Nog. It was flagged, and he's out of his fight against Jerry Cannonier at UFC on Fox 26. I don't remember if they got somebody to replace him.
As of now, no, from what I remember reading.
All right. Let's see what else we got.
Okay, go ahead.
We have the first UFC fight of 2018 scheduled. On January 14th, we will have the old young lion, Vitor Belfort.
Oh, no.
Uriah Hall.
Oh, that fight scares me.
Can I make a point about that card real quick?
Go ahead.
Thank you, gentlemen. That looks like that's going to be the Sunday Fox. You know that card that they always do in mid-January?
Right. Yeah.
That cannot be the main event, can it?
I mean...
Walk it.
You want to see Vitor and Uriah Hall go to the 4th round together?
I mean...
I think I told Sensei this. Like, it's going to be like a lot of light touching and high-fiving.
I feel like that fight... I don't know. It's probably not a great way to kick off the year, but I just know the way that fight is going to end is going to make me either laugh or cry hysterically, and I'm ready for both. I'm ready for both emotions.
It's got to be dual wheel kicks, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
But that's that card that they try to make a star out of. So I don't necessarily that can't be I can't imagine that being the main event. And Betch Kohei is apparently on that card as well, and I can't see her main eventing either. And it's in Brazil apparently, so.
Ooh, so they have to find a Brazilian who has some
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because a pseudo-Brazilian won this weekend.
Ah, true.
If you're confident in him, you could maybe. If I were running this bowl of fruits and nuts, Darren Till would probably main event that card for me.
Quick side note: Papi Abedi's last fight was in April. He lost by KO by head kick. Just throwing it out there. To Dylan Andrews, who, side note, was his last loss in the UFC. And then he fought Dylan again at Superior Challenge 15 in Stockholm. So
Just be a hat model, Poppy.
Yeah. Okay, so Aljamain Sterling will be facing Ronnie Yaya at UFC Fresno December 9th. Michelle Watterson and Tisha Torres face off at UFC 218. Edson Barboza has apparently accepted a fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 219. And that's the one I really want to see.
So who's filling in for Khabib?
Let's see, 219. So Justin Gaethje. Like,
no,
just-
Gaethje's in. He's in Gaethje
Well,
Barboza. Jesus.
you think Gaethje's going to care?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
He's just gonna come off the Eddie Alvarez fight. It's just like he's gonna walk into the cage. His face is already gonna be bleeding.
yeah, what's a medical suspension?
Exactly.
Who does those? Quick run on those fights though. The Sterling and Ronnie fight.
Yes.
Who we got? That's an interesting matchup, I think.
Sterling, just because I don't think Yaya is going to submit him.
I think if you've watched enough Ronnie Yaya fights, you kind of have an idea where that's going to go. He's probably not going to submit Sterling, and that third round is going to be ugly. I could see Sterling submitting Yaya in the third just on exhaustion. So, Yaya's style is not made for that. He's not made for those long fights, and Sterling is grueling, and he's the better athlete. So, I don't know.
Yeah. All right,
and I got Barboza beating Khabib. Just throwing it out there.
No, it's same.
I mean, a no-show is a victory, right? No, you know what? It's interesting because Khabib's been gone for. I mean, he fought in November, but he's been gone, and he's just like it's amazing. We've had so many fights, and like I don't know what kind of a striker he is. I know he's got power in his hands. Barboza's takedown defense is amazing. So what happens if it stays on the feet? Like,
Barboza will probably light him up.
A lot of people talk about Barboza like he's just this striker, but the guy trains with Frankie Edgar. He trains with Eddie Alvarez. He's probably got a good idea of how to keep himself upright long enough to do some damage.
Yeah, like if Barboza was in any other division, like we'd be talking about this man as like a threat for the title.
Oh yeah, and I had discussed this with somebody else. Like he and Michael Johnson have pretty much fought everyone.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing Khabib's gonna bring to the table that Barboza probably hasn't already seen. So now I'm excited for a fight that's not gonna happen. Thanks, guys.
I will stay an optimist. I will. If we can keep Khabib in a bubble somewhere and
away from the tiramisu.
Yeah. We'll figure out a way to get him to a fight card finally.
Good. I just came across a whole bunch of them, so
go ahead.
Let's just run through these. Kamaru Usman, Emil Meek, UFC 219. Apparently, that's the only person who would accept a fight with Usman, who was available in the past month that he's been out, not scheduled to fight, I guess. Miles Jury, Rick Glenn, UFC 219. My fellow Peruvian, Humberto Bandanay.
Whatever.
Bandanay is going to be fighting at UFC Sydney. Yuri Alcantara, Alejandro Perez at UFC Fresno. And Ali Quinta, Paul Felder at UFC 218.
Ooh.
That should be a nice violent fight.
Yeah. I was gonna go ahead.
Just the most important of them all. I just remembered this. Venator FC will be holding a 4-man tournament one night, and the man himself, Cody McKenzie, Alaska's greatest treasure, will be on the card.
How has he not been in AFC?
He hasn't.
I don't. Not recently.
He's too big time for AFC now.
He better bring those shorts. That's all I know.
Did you see the AFC card on Fight Pass like Wednesday or Thursday, where the guy won and his first comment was that he was looking to score some weed in Alaska? Dead serious. He won. Yeah. He won, and he was like, "I heard it's legal here. I'm gonna go find some weed." It's like, dude, you just won in the co-main event.
Hey man, that's how you become a fan favorite,
Man, you gotta spend that $50 wisely. I'm just
right?
saying.
Yeah, and you got to get your can of Monster.
Oh man.
It's not Monster now; it's Mountain Dew, I believe they're selling.
Oh.
Moving
Well,
up.
the one man in the main event, I know for a fact, has a monster tattoo. So you can't be too happy about
Wow.
that.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking now? Now the brand's moving. Super Fight League is sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I'm smelling co-promotion.
I think they should have a face-off.
I mean,
think we should put best against best, and
the UFC does not want none of that.
To be fair, I best against best is a good idea, but I think worst against worst would be much better given the respective marketing. I would pay for that if you put together the best of the worst or the best of SFL against Alaskan Fighting Championships versus like UFC 215. You know what I mean? Like that kind of a card. It might be a little close. You know. Assuming you get that with that buy rate for UFC 215, more people might buy the SFL AFC clash.
We're gonna tag some people on Twitter when this comes out. We got some ideas. You guys need to.
I feel like, you know what? Because they got the Mountain Dew Prep Point, and the other people, they're selling Mountain Dew Kickstart. Like that seems like perfect co-promotion to me.
Yeah. Just like.
We never got Fedor Brock, but maybe we can get Anoop Kumar versus
Who's the AFC?
Anoop Kumar versus Cody McKenzie.
Oh.
Hey,
There we go.
I think they may be 7 weight classes apart at this point.
that doesn't matter anymore.
Cody
Jason Ramesh Solomon against Cody McKenzie. Give me that fight.
See, everybody gives BJ credit for moving up to heavyweight to go fight Leo Machida, but nobody's giving Cody McKenzie any credit.
Yeah, that's unfair.
It's completely unfair.
Was it the Battlegrounds, like 8-man tournament where he apparently gave blood to make weight? Like, what was that story?
Yeah.
Nah.
Where's the Cody ESPN 30 for 30? I need this. There's so many 30 for 30s in MMA that just I need to see.
It falls upon us to make them because nobody else will, because nobody else cares.
All right.
Yeah. Get Grabaka Hitman to make that hype video. Cody and Jason Rabbit. I think we can make some. I would watch that. That's like, make it 7 rounds. First ever 7-round fight.
The Kimbo Dada one is legitimately my favorite MMA promo, or promo for anything for that matter, in like ever.
I thought the Till Cerrone promo, I don't know if you guys saw that, just because we do have cards to cover at this point. I don't know if you saw the Till Cerrone fight package, but it was really well put together. And they're doing a better job, I think. The Rose Namajunas Joanna one was also really good, I thought. So, I just to bring it back kind of on topic, like, I feel like the fight promotion is getting a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Only take them however long.
The wheels of change are slow, but they turn, man.
I wonder how much of it just comes down to like the fact that and I have nothing to base this on, but like Dana White fight series, like how many of those guys are getting chances, like, because they do a terrific job.
Oh yeah, I know
Like,
you're talking.
Yeah, like those guys who like cut the promos together for the fight series, they were engaging. They made you connect with like the people in the cage and everything like that. Things that they can't do in like 13 hours of tough.
That should have been the new tough, to be honest.
I don't
feel
disagree
like,
with that at all.
Yeah, I feel like that should have been tough.
Yeah, like I wrote, like if now they're Endeavor, but if I was Endeavor, I'd be offering that to these networks. Like, look, not only can we give you we can give you your fight nights, and we can give you your big events, and we can give you the prelims, and if you want to cut of the pay-per-view, we can talk about that as well. But once a week, we can give you 4 fights that'll do. Maybe you don't do 1 million viewers for these Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, but you get the visibility of getting these young guys on TV, and you probably satisfy your cable provider or your business partners because you have that extra added content that you can't provide right now, because nobody's really going to watch a tough anymore. It's not destination programming.
Yeah. But besides like baseball, like playoff baseball, what does FS1 have that's destination programming? Like
NASCAR.
do they even have NASCAR anymore?
Dude,
I
I don't
think
know.
they have, for accuracy purposes, because I don't want some NASCAR guy up my ass. I believe they have truck racing. It's kind of like NASCAR. It's like a truck series.
I mean,
Yeah, you can throw that at like a 1 a.m. midnight, but nobody cares about that.
We've officially upset the pygmy people. Now we've upset the NASCAR people.
I mean,
Bellator has the NASCAR crowd. They
we'll win them
seem
back with we'll win them back with our Bellator coverage.
There we go.
There we go. Perfect. Now
Perfect
we got to talk about
segue.
a card that none of us watched to completion.
Perfect segue. Bellator 185 took place in Connecticut. What day was that? The 20th. Headlined by Gegard Mousasi and Alexander Shlemenko. We will quickly breeze through just a few fights because we combined, all of us only watched about 3 fights on this card. So,
Whoopsies. To be fair, they were running up against Game 6 of the ALCS. So when I got home in the middle of the card. It's like, well, I could watch the Yankees and the Astros, or I could watch Neiman Gracie. No disrespect to Neiman Gracie, but I think even he would agree that Astros Yankees is a bigger priority for most people.
I had to work the next morning, so I just wasn't going to stay up. And
I see.
yeah,
I was making balloon pumpkins at a carnival.
We were all very busy adults. That is the that's the moral of the story.
I had a very weird weekend. Let's just leave it at that.
But I guess just quick thoughts on this main event. Gegard won, but in my eyes, he definitely didn't win. Like the first round he won clearly.
I agree.
The second round was, it was kind of close, but when I watched it was like Gegard got takedowns, but did you really do anything? And when they were on the feet, I mean, Gegard, you got your eye closed. I mean, I think that pretty much speaks for it. And the third round was a mauling. Like the third round was like all Shlemenko. And yeah, I don't know if it was just the eye, but like Gegard didn't look as sharp as normal. But I guess I'll just attribute that to his eye being closed. I think it got closed in the first round, actually.
Like yeah, I think it was the very first punch.
Yeah.
Landed.
So
Yeah.
No, his depth perception was literally fucked up. Like there's somebody posted it on Reddit where he goes to like grab the cage after the fight and he just completely misses it.
Man. Ugh.
Yeah, like the dude's eyes was like he legitimately couldn't see.
Yeah, we got to run it back.
It was seemingly a night of almost for Bellator in terms of their big money acquisitions, not just for Mousasi, but also for, I believe, Heather Hardy as well. So.
Yeah. So speaking of the Hardy fight, like I don't want, like, well, we can. Did you guys have anything else to say about Mousasi and Shlemenko?
Let's do rematch. That's my only word. Rematch.
That's not a bad idea. I thought Shlemenko won the fight. If I'm Bellator, I'm getting a little concerned about these UFC guys that I'm paying relatively good money to, that are coming in and not necessarily performing up to the standard. But Shlemenko Mousasi was going to be one of those fights where it was going to be tough either way. So really can't beat him up over that.
Yeah.
So Christina Williams, Heather Hardy. I don't think Cho did his job when he went to go look for somebody to fight Heather Hardy. Because I knew nothing about Williams before I watched the fight. I watched the fight afterwards, so I knew she won. But I had no clue how the fight played out. Like, I just saw the one gif of her kicking the shit out of Heather Hardy in the face.
Yeah, that
kick was brutal.
But like 2 seconds into the fight, I want to say Jimmy Smith says, "Oh, she's a Taekwondo black belt."
Yeah,
with like 4 amateur wins. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I think, but that's like, I feel like, since you mentioned that, I feel like that's very much a women's MMA kind of problem. Because didn't Invicta give Time Bomb like a high level wrestler?
Well, they gave her like a collegiate wrestler who I think like is a freshman, who was a freshman or sophomore in college or something like that.
I don't know. Like,
I could be wrong.
That just seems it seems pretty consistent to like these And then what's the name? LFC or LFA, they gave Mackenzie Dern a pretty tough, like, kickboxer, if I remember correctly, her first fight out. Something along those lines.
No, it was her second fight. I remember who you're talking
Okay.
about.
Okay. Just, I don't.
I don't remember her
seems to
name,
be-
but
it seems to be like a women's MMA kind of issue. Like there's obviously a lot of talent there, but it's also kind of uncultivated as of right now. So I think that it's really hard to kind of. Obviously, this was just bad from the get go. But
yeah.
Yeah, she got bloodied. That's an understatement. Like,
Oh yeah, like shouts to Christina Williams who just put her her whole stamp on this fight, and just outstruck a now world champion. Like Hardy's never actually won a world title, but
still,
yeah, but it's still like an elite boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're gonna find, I think this is a problem that we don't see much with in MMA in general.
right?
Where like you're a promoter and you have this kickboxer who you want to promote, like, and we didn't get this problem with Holly Holm because Holly Holm is a kickboxer who went into boxing. She trains in an MMA gym with a kickboxing coach as her head boxing coach. But like I think Joe and Coker are just like, oh, this girl's a striker, we'll throw her in there with Heather Hardy.
Right.
And they never considered that maybe Hardy wasn't prepared for somebody who could kick her face off.
yeah. That last
It's
kick
good you mentioned
was-
that. Yeah.
Just a thud when I watched it. I was like, oh my god, like, we got to
It's-
stop this.
It's good you mentioned that because I do think sometimes I feel like Coker and Chu, they just want to make exciting fights, but the goal isn't to necessarily just make exciting fights. It's to make money with those properties you have. So you have to be got to be a little careful sometimes. I feel like they oftentimes don't necessarily protect the assets that they have. And when you're Bellator, you don't have a million of them.
Yeah.
She got Pico'd to me, like with Pico's first fight. Where you
That's another example where it's just like you got a special asset, try to protect them. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, they are doing that with what's the other guy? Ruth. I feel like he's.
Who's Ed Ruth fighting next? He's fighting a former UFC guy.
Is he?
Yes, he's fighting Dempsey. He's fighting Chris Dempsey.
Yeah, but Chris Dempsey wasn't. He's not the. Well, I mean, I think we've seen experience can definitely win out in those cases. I was gonna be like, he's really not like he wasn't overly successful in the UFC, but I get the general point right off the bat.
Yeah, like. I think we've especially seen it this year, particularly at featherweight. But experience means a lot.
Yeah.
You
can't make up. You cannot. It's weird in MMA in general. It's like they get a special product. You get a special guy. You got a guy who's got a unique ability who might be able to make a little money, and it's like, well, let's see what he can't do.
Yeah.
You should establish what he can do, and then if it's time to cash out or see what you really have, you can do that. But it's like, let's let him prove what he can do before we start forcing the issue, so to speak. It's like, let him
this
go.
is why they're dragging out MVP so long.
I wonder how much of this is just like promoters don't, because there's no doubt in my mind Bob Arum has at least somebody in the gym with, I don't know, like his next big thing who he's putting all this money into. Like, there's no fucking way like Dana White or Scott Coker are sending guys to, I don't know, Team Oyama to go check out like this 2-0 fighter and see how they train. Like you just don't have that level of involvement.
That's a good point. Especially when you have such a big roster, you can't really be like, oh, what's But if you got special talents, man, you have to be rather safe than sorry, I think is the best way to put it.
Especially with Bellator, because they need depth. Like, that's their... I feel like Bellator is like top heavy, but they need those lower and mid-tier, like, to build up. And you're not doing them any favors when you give them these kind of matchups.
And you can only survive off Mitrione, Roy Nelson, Rory McDonald. You can only survive off Lorenz Larkin, the guys that the UFC either doesn't resign or doesn't want to resign. Before it's like, okay, well, what else are you going to give? What else do you bring to the table? Bellator in its earlier days was very good about getting the tournaments created prospects. So it's like you don't financially viable. You got to protect what you think might be a little special.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to differentiate you from the UFC.
Those tournaments also create an incentive for guys to sign. Like,
Yeah.
does Lyman Good sign with Bellator if there's not $100,000 check at the end of it?
Right.
That's true. It's true.
So
And you establish some context with those gyms. I mean, Sam Kaplan did a really good job getting a lot of those Russian fighters, a lot of those Eastern European guys. Some of them apparently had some issues that he didn't know about when he signed them. But it's like, for every Frodo Haspolayev, you find a...
The UFC has their own Frodo Haspolayev. I'm just saying. And his name is Oleksiy Olenek.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with he's not. I was gonna make a comment about Mairbek Taisumov, but I don't think his visa issues are related to that, right?
Who knows? Like,
Yeah.
there's so much mystery with so many of these guys.
It's such a shame that he's limited to these Fight Pass events because, like, he is special.
He's legit.
He fought outside. He fought in Brazil one time, so he must be like kind of okay.
Yeah.
Weird times.
Speaking of European, we can maybe I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we got another card to go over.
First showing it, I'm killing this territory, right?
Joey, I'm just gonna say, it seems pretty telling that you were here for your first time on the show. You were here for the forgettable Bellator card and the throwaway UFC European card.
Well, I do in your
see true hardcore MMAism.
In your defense, you guys have tried to get me on bigger shows, but USADA keeps pulling me for random. Never available.
All right, so I'm gonna throw this out there pre-roll before it even happens. The Bisping GSP card, you're gonna have to be on for that. So
I'll be there.
You have to, yeah.
I'll be there, but I'm telling you, if Bisping GSP sucks, that's Robert Whittaker's damn spot, people. Ugh. Who cares if his knee is in 70 pieces?
I'd still pick him over Bisping.
Dude, I love Michael Bisping. I was looking up because Cerrone's lost. Spoiler, by the way. Cerrone's
That's like the fourth time we've mentioned these.
Yeah. Cerrone's loss got me feeling a little nostalgic. I went back and looked, and I'm looking at all the lightweights who are like top 10, and it's like Healy, Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone, Benson Henderson, Anthony Pettis, Frankie Edgar, Gil Melendez. And I'm just like, all of these guys from like 2012, 2013, they're wiped out. And there's Michael fucking Bisping, who's still alive, holding a belt, main event in pay-per-view that might sell 1 million. Like, Bisping's the man. You gotta love him for whatever he is.
Dude, if Bisping wins next month, he's going to have Silva, Anderson, GSP, and I guess you could throw in Rockhold on his resume.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Well, I mean, the Rockhold fight is the fight. That's going to be his highlight reel. That's going to go on his gravestone.
So I tell people, man, respect your champ. He's got some wins, man. I know y'all hate him, but he's putting in work out here. He's putting in work.
And he's not lying when he says that most of his major losses are to guys who ultimately had issues with PEDs. You know, Henderson, we can assume what the TRT situation was with that. Vitor Belfort was through the fucking roof. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Vitor was comfortably. You know, I don't have anything to prove that. I apologize for not having my evidence.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, he seemed pretty clean to me.
Yeah, you know what? No. I'm going to offer an apology. I don't have any evidence that Vitor Belfort was on anything. I am sincerely sorry.
A 37-year-old man with the veins popping out his arms.
It doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
Do you remember when Kung Lee had his well, maybe Kung Lee was innocent, you know, but like they asked Kung Lee about that one picture and he's like, I just worked out and the lighting was on me perfectly.
I like Kung Lee.
Kung Lee ultimately was cleared, so it's not. He obviously maybe didn't do anything, but his explanation was just like, yeah, the lighting was on me. I just worked out. I got off the scale. My son had the camera. It was perfect timing.
The stars aligned.
He's a mountain. I'm surprised they haven't dug Kung Lee out of the. You know, just to go back real quick, I'm surprised they didn't dig Kung Lee out for Bellator.
I think it's the lawsuit. Honestly.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, that might not be somebody you want on the roster.
I mean, is he technically still signed to the UFC, or?
I think they offered him like a release. I don't know. Mark Hunt's suing them, and he's still on the roster,
Yeah.
technically. Sort of,
Maybe, I don't know.
depending.
A lot of people need to research. Now I gotta search up Kung Lee and see what he's been doing. But...
Suing the UFC. and starring in the Expendables 4 or whatever.
What? I still never
he
saw
really?
the third one.
I have no idea.
I was gonna say.
He's in movies. He's in
Yeah,
Security.
well, that's why.
And he was in Hawaii
That's why they
Five-0.
had him headline. That's why they had him headline in Macau. I think was because he's like a movie star there, right?
Yeah.
I will give him props with the movies I've seen him in. He's actually like he's not like a great actor. Like he's not winning any Oscars anytime soon. But he's
Now
put on
watch-
solid
watch-
performances.
Watch me bring this all full circle. He is not as good an actor as Michael Bisping, who also won over Kung Lee. So Bisping is technically 2-0.
Oh.
Get him.
I was looking for. I got halfway, and then I was like, "Fuck! I don't have a Polish tie. For this. I can't tie it into the polling card so we can get going." And I just, you know.
Speaking of guys on the cusp of contention, Darren Till.
There we go. That's
There
the
we go.
tie-in.
Perfect.
UK guys on the cusp of contention. So, I'm gonna just apologize in advance because there's a guy. No, not for like any opinion or anything. Because I know we tend to screw up names on this show a lot. Right?
Oh
Mike?
yeah, and two of them are coming up.
Yeah. So I'm glancing through this. I'm glancing through the fights that went down, and I see there's a guy named Josh Emmett, and then in the main event there's a Darren Till. So if I screw that up at any point, 'cause I screwed it up in my head.
They're not even connected though. They're not
I
even
know.
close. I thought you
know.
were gonna be like, I can't pronounce Oscar Piota. I was like, oh, cool. Instead, it's Josh Emmett and Darren Till.
No, it's not. It's not the pronunciation of their names. It's just I don't want to mush them up.
I see. That's
Yeah.
like I used to record with Alex, and Melvin Gillard was Melvin Gilliard. And I'm just like, dude, he's only been fighting in the UFC for 12 years.
I just want to say that I just don't want to end up saying like fucking Emmett Till just fucking murdered Donald.
Oh man, I just got it. Jesus.
Yes.
Oh.
Because that's what I said to myself as I was watching the fights last night. Because that's the order I watched them in. I watched the Till fight. I watched the Emmett fight.
I see.
Oh man, yeah. We have a lot of that's a lot of angry tweets.
I have a follow. Yeah, my God. Pygmy people, Canada,
Oh yeah.
the
NASCAR.
whole
I mean, if we're gonna fucking alienate ourselves from everybody, it must be everybody. I'm just saying.
direct fans after you make your statement on his statement.
Oh,
There's a lot of people who are going to be very, very upset. I'm getting kicked off this show. I'm killing this territory.
Oh, man. Hey, we got to go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
why
I'm going to
not?
start my own one, and it'll just be I'll just switch the letters around. It'll be Tojo Dalk. We got to
Oh,
cover
man.
this damn show. Like, why is
We
this
do.
taking so long? It's a fight pass card in Poland that started at 12.
That's probably why it's taking so long.
Ramazan Eid was on the card.
Oh man. But yeah,
Darren Till murdered Donald Cerrone inside of a round,
pretty much.
and it was
And-
not even remotely close.
Ah,
It was
man.
it was a
I
sad
wasn't-
end for-
I wasn't shocked that Till won, but I was shocked that like it was such a one-sided. I don't know. Like after it ended, I was like, "Oh man, Cerrone, you didn't get a chance to really do anything." Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he got off some leg kicks and some body kicks for whatever that's worth, but if he wasn't throwing a body kick, he was getting caught down the pipe with that straight.
Not
that just
Not since Tombstone have we seen a cowboy so effortlessly dispatched.
like
So-
it was just. Oh my God, the straight down the pipe. Then he started mixing it with uppercuts.
Oh, that
and-
uppercut he landed was not. That
Yeah,
was unfair. It was an
like-
unfair shot. You got the guy. Just you don't have to do all that. Come on now.
Oh, and real quick thing that annoys me that I have to throw out there, because Till has that kind of like, you know, sideways like karate-ish kind of stance.
Yeah.
Can we stop calling that the Conor stance? He didn't invent that. Just throwing that out there for
You know who he
people.
reminded me of doing that? Like it's a weird comparison, forgive me, but Rory McDonald. He kind of had a little bit of what Rory tends to, like Rory can do from the southpaw stance a little bit when he goes that way. Like he kind of used the same game plan that Rory used on Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
Except Cerrone's not even anywhere near Tyron Woodley's caliber, so you know.
Yeah. It's really weird. Remember when like Darren came into the UFC and like there was like zero buzz about him. Like the most interesting thing about him was he was an Englishman fighting in like Brazil.
Yeah.
And he had beaten basically nobody, and then all of a sudden he comes in against like Nicholas Dalby, who was Cage Warriors welterweight champion, had like a bunch of hype behind him. Me and you had been wondering why he hadn't been signed.
Yeah.
And then he comes in and beats his ass for like a round, and then dislocates his shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason he can't win the fight.
I'd actually like to use that, if I may, to kind of spin off on. Fight Pass is really interesting in a sense that it allows guys like Darren Till to really develop, but it also kind of hinders their ability to ever really get to kind of that next level. Because Fight Pass is only, like being on a Fight Pass card, and Darren Till has only fought on Fight Pass. It's a little bit like being like I hate to use this term, like UFC kind of, I don't want to use the term minor league, but like it's the lower level UFC events that mean a lot to those guys, but not.
It's like the preseason.
Yeah, it's like a preseason almost. So you have a guy like Darren Till who gets to work through the weaknesses in his game. He gets to really develop, but nobody's noticing it. So everybody's just like, why is Donald Cerrone fighting this European guy who lives in Brazil and has a picture of Paige Van Zandt on his arm? And so they don't ever give him like the opportunity to really get him. And then they see it and they're just blown away. But if you've been watching these events, he's been doing this a lot. Like Till's very straightforward, straight punches down the middle. He feeds you the legs so he can get his offense going. Long, he can take you down. Like this was not a surprise to people who've been watching Darren Till, but Fight Pass, which has allowed him to develop, hit him almost. You know what I mean? Like he's hidden by these UFC fans.
Well, and again, a big part of it is, I think, is like up to this, like if this fight had been on Fox,
oh yeah,
Till would be a star right now, or at least the talk of the town. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But no, it's on Fight Pass, and it makes me actually curious. Did the UFC expect him to win this fight?
From what I had heard, or what Cerrone said, Till was like the third or fourth option, so I don't think so.
God.
Which begs the question, what was Greg Jackson thinking when they told Cerrone to, or what was anybody, well, Cerrone doesn't watch film, but surely somebody in his camp had to know who he was.
At that point, I think once Cerrone hears that he's getting an opponent, and since he's so close with Dana White, I think Dana just tells him.
Okay.
Like just like straight up hits him up, and he's like, "Hey, I got this guy for you to fight." And Cerrone's like, "Okay." Like if it goes through like a manager or through his like team or something like that, maybe there'd be more like of a weeding out process. But I get the sense that Cerrone's really in control of when he fights.
Right.
And who?
Well, this was a bad decision.
Yeah, it was. This, especially considering this is the first like losing streak he's been on his whole career.
Right.
And I mean just more than one fight. Like he's never lost. He's currently on the only multiple fight losing streak.
Yeah, I didn't know quietly he was dropped 3.
Yeah, and if you go back a fight to the Matt Brown fight, he wasn't exactly. He was getting hit pretty hard by Matt Brown, and there were a few moments where he kind of wobbled and stumbled. So, the chin and the consistent wear and tear, it's like this should have been seen maybe a little. Like somebody should have maybe told him like to relax a little bit, or these are not fights that are. These are powerful guys he's fighting, and he's not getting easy touches either. So
yeah, and like even building off of that, he fought a month later because that's when the Masvidal fight was, and then he got knocked out.
Yeah,
and then he came back in July and fought Robbie Lawler.
Yep.
So he's fought in the last 10 months. He's fought 4 times, all tough fights.
Yeah, he's you're only getting older. and you can't keep that pace
Yeah,
up
that's
forever.
perfect. That's a perfect way to put it. Like you can do that when you're 29, 30, but I think he's like he's got to be getting close to mid 30, and I'd imagine wear and tear wise, his body's got to be like 40.
He's 34.
Yeah, like he's but
34, but in fighting years, he's like
70.
right.
And this is a dude who had 28 pro kickboxing fights before he ever put on MMA gloves.
Yeah,
Like,
he's got some tread.
Like the fact that he is the one out of that group of like lightweights you mentioned earlier that's still anywhere near like the top 5 in his division, besides like Edgar is insane. Because he's like one of the guys you would expect to like flame out.
Yeah, because not just from a stylistic standpoint, but he has a very, how would I describe his lifestyle? Very I don't mean it negatively, but he lives like an action sports, like he's an adrenaline kind of guy. He's got a very, very, very aggressive lifestyle, and that's
so even when he's not fighting, he's still like
using and abusing his body.
Right, pretty much.
Perfect way to put it. Well, because I remember at one point Dana White, didn't they had to put things in his contract where like he couldn't like skydive or rock climb or something along those lines. Like he has a very, he lives an exciting life, but that's wear and tear on your moneymaker.
Like, dude, like this is a dude who goes like waveboarding or not waveboarding, like water skiing. Like
week of fights.
Yeah, like fights.
Yeah.
There are countdown shows where he's just like on the boat, getting ready to like get dragged in through the water.
Hey man, we all have different ways of prepping.
Right. I mean, yeah, well, some guys, he doesn't watch tape, so he's got to do something with his time.
Yeah.
And just to be real quick, like we're not discrediting Darren Till at all. Like we're not saying
that was a perfect performance. You can't get any better than that. Like
since the Jason Ayari fight, I've been saying Darren Till is going to be like a contender.
And like
you've been very much on that.
Just to get back, that last sequence of the KO, that elbow, that like step-in elbow was so nasty.
And he hit what's his name, Bohan. I think he fought Bohan Velikovic his last fight.
Yeah.
And he hit him with those like 20 times. So you knew at some point they were coming, because Cerrone doesn't move well for those things that are coming right at him. Like when Lawler was flailing at him, like he can cover those up and take those. He's gonna be fine. But we saw Masvidal, we saw Nate Diaz. When it comes straight, he has a problem, and that was a hell of an elbow. And that uppercut he threw too.
Like
I knew this fight was in trouble when Cerrone went for the takedown and he got it, and then he popped right back up, and it's like,
Yeah,
this is like a straight up strength difference.
Like Till's a big middleweight too.
Light heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
Till
a
said
big.
Himself, like he's like a light. Didn't he say like I hit like a light heavyweight? I'm like a light heavyweight in this division.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big mammoth man.
Like Till at welterweight is as close as we're probably going to see to like Conor McGregor at featherweight at welterweight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good comparison, I think, in terms of their size.
So I guess all right, he gives Cerrone the blues. He proceeds to have a screaming match with Mike Perry. But who do we want to see Till get next? Because I in the midst of the Perry yelling, I forgot in real time that Perry was lined up already to fight Ponzinibbio.
Yeah.
So who do we give Till?
Throwing this out there, but the next big welterweight fight is going to be it's in 2 weeks. It's going to be Stephen Thompson and Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Do you want to throw that out there?
I'm not mad at that because I like keeping prospects, if he's still considered that. I don't know how that term is even used anymore, but I like keeping prospects, quote unquote, away from each other.
4 years.
Yeah. So like, as much as I would love to see him and Usman go at it, because nobody wants to fight Usman apparently. But yeah, I would rather keep them two apart. So yeah, I'm not mad at the winner of that. And yeah, at this point, if you're not on the Till bandwagon or if you were doubting his skill set, it's not a question. I don't think anymore. Like
my only hang up of like Till before this fight was he seemed to lack basic finishing instinct, or like he would get into advanced positions and just like kind of dick around a bit.
Yeah, that's he concentration issues sometimes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, since you mentioned concentration issues, not to cut you off, did you see that he sat on the wrong side of the cage?
No. What?
When he got in, he was doing this big warm up, and he sat down, and you could see the ref. I don't remember if it was Leon Roberts or whatever. Tell him to get up, and he had to move to the other side. He was in the wrong corner.
Oh my god.
It all worked out in the end.
Would you guys? It's a suggestion. The UFC suggests, because they don't ever promise title fights, but they suggest that RDA Lawler is going to get the next title fight. Would you put Till in an easy fight in the States to introduce him to the American audience? And if he breezes through that, and if Lawler RDA isn't what you think it would you kind of cash out on Till, so to speak, after an easy performance on a pay-per-view and just go, hey, look, Till Woodley is going to be something different at least?
See, the thing is, I feel like if RDA gets past Lawler, albeit if it's impressive, or I want to say I don't see how that fight could be boring, but we've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah.
But I feel like if RDA wins, that he should probably get the title shot, and just keep Till in the wing. Keep Till in the wing. Give him. That's the thing. I can't really say tune-up fight. I mean, if you're looking at anybody in the top 10, there aren't really any quote-unquote tune-up fights. Anybody you get is going to be game.
I just thought of a great idea that hurts my heart.
Throw it out there.
Would you pull Neil Magny and do Condit Till?
No.
Is that? Do you just not want to see Condit get hurt?
That's kind of how.
Yes, exactly.
I feel bad. I love Condit, but I was just thinking, if you're gonna make a name, he would be the guy.
Condit is one of those guys that anytime he loses, I just I take it personal. It's why? Don't.
Yeah,
don't
I relive that round versus GSP where he head kicks him and doesn't finish every day. Every day in my head.
I say, oh god.
Who's what's Colby Covington up to?
He's fighting Maya next week.
Oh Lord, okay.
Maya Maya Till, I think Maya Till. Well, Till turned. He said he wouldn't be. Well, he said Maya was the toughest fight, but Covington Till, I don't want to see that near a microphone. I don't want to hear Colby Covington there, Till.
Colby, do they have? Do they have hunting in the UK?
He may find out and make a. The history of Europe or England isn't necessarily the best sometimes, so
yeah.
He may make a. He's one of those guys. You'd be like, oh, hold on now.
I thought Cody Garbrandt was bad, but straight up, is Colby Covington the worst person to ever give a microphone to?
I don't know, dude. There seems to be a lot.
I don't know. There's some stiff competition out there.
I
Bad
can't
Mike
think of a guy who
might be
whacked.
the 145.
Covington lacks self-awareness to an obscene degree.
Tact, subtlety. These are not. You know what? Bad mic talkers. That's the 145-pound division, man. You could be there all day just stacking up great names, going at it. I don't Covington Till.
Was Colby the dude who was calling out Ali Aquinta, or am I thinking of Mike Perry?
Who hasn't called out Ali Quinta at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Colby Colby call out Woodley?
He did.
Jesus Christ!
That got off tweet. That is the whole reason I brought him up as the worst.
I don't know. It's funny you mentioned
Trash
works
talker.
first. I know a lot of people who don't like Mike Perry. And that was Till Perry was a thing people were into. What about Albert? What about a different cowboy?
I wouldn't be mad at that. Till and Oliver.
Alex.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Is he fighting anytime soon? Now let's go. Let's Google that bad boy.
What about Oh no, he's coming off a loss, so him and Gunner are they buddy?
Oh my God, Till would kill Gunner.
Gunner isn't fighting until March apparently.
Oh. I'm not off the Gunner bandwagon, but Till would be all wrong for him.
Yeah.
Too big. Also, Oliveira is fighting Yancy Medeiros. I would not have a problem with the winner of that fight fighting Till.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
how did Yancy Medeiros get? Wait, how did Yancy Medeiros get Alex Oliveira?
He beat Eric Silva.
Oh Lord, that fight did happen.
It's a good fight, man.
Jesus
Good
Christ.
fight, though, right? Yeah.
Eric Silva.
You can give Eric Silva to Darren Till. You want to make a
No, I don't.
you want to make a highlight reel?
Oh, Eric Silva at this point has been on enough highlight reels than I care to remember.
Young Kim's entire second half is dedicated to Eric Silva. He saved his career. You could do Young Kim.
You could.
It'd be a stinky fight, but you could try it.
I mean,
I think that's a winnable fight for Till.
It would, but it wouldn't be like. I don't think it would be too exciting.
I don't think Till knocks him out solely because I think Young Kid does enough to survive and
Yeah.
tries to slow the fight down. Like that's another thing. Till prior to this fight, like another thing I had against him, like his pace. Like
Yes.
it feels like against a guy he can't land that left hand against. Like the pace of the fight is going to slow down immensely.
Crossing sports, he reminds me a little bit of Yuriorkis Gamboa in the sense that
Yeah.
he gets bored. You can kind of tell, like in those fights against like Jesse Nyari and against Bohan Velikovic, he's playing around to the crowd. Like he gets bored if he doesn't get the finish right away. So that, like again, those lapses in concentration where you're just like, okay, well now do something. You know, if the other guy's not going to come forward, you can march him down, but throw something. You've got him where you want him. Just finish the like he's very patient, almost to a point of just kind of boring himself, lulling himself to sleep.
Yeah, that's what worries me if he was to fight like somebody like Woodley, whose entire game is to basically lull you to sleep and make you think you're in the advantageous position when you're really just
Right.
walking into his game.
That's why when you hear people say, I'll make Woodley fight, you're just like, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's what he wants you to do.
I mean, yeah.
Either way, I just hope they keep him in the wing. I don't want to fast track him to a title shot and then we find out, oh, he's not ready yet and he gets
Yeah, I
mauled
can
or something like that. Keep
I think
him in the
beating-
wing.
I think
Okay.
beating Cowboy kind of makes you a made man in that sense. Like, even if he loses, he's still got Cowboy Cerrone kind of.
Right, yeah.
Get him on Fight Pass. Get him on a platform already. Let's get him on pay-per-view if we need to get him on pay-per-view. Let's
Yeah.
get him on Fox or.
Yeah, he's earned that, yeah. If you beat Cowboy in that fashion,
Look,
you
if
definitely
Vitor
earned...
Belfort and Uriah Hall can headline a FS1 competition,
Yeah, Darren Till can...
come on.
Dude,
Sky's
apparently
the
they
limit.
were holding a spot for Cerrone for UFC 219, right?
Yeah, give it to Till.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Unless he's hurt. And don't make it Mike Perry. I don't want, like...
Let him murder Waller Alvarez. Like,
Oh, yeah, like don't give it to... Like, if you have a couple young guys who are kind of on a streak, why do we always have to kind of automatically start putting them together? Like, let him go his way. Let him go his way. If Perry gets by Santiago, which I really don't believe that'll be the case, but Santiago versus Till in Brazil as that, like, adopted Brazilian, you know what I mean, battle? Because Santiago's from Argentina, but he trained in Brazil, and Till came from England, so I don't know.
yeah.
Just don't do Perry. It doesn't make sense. Till will beat Perry, or will probably beat Perry, and then you'll have to rebuild Perry again. And hope to God he doesn't do something along the way that makes you never want to mention him ever again. So, does it make sense?
Shouts to Alex Nicholson.
Oh, come on. Now, leave him alone.
I mean, he was out here campaigning for the Jimmy Manuwa fight.
Oh, I think you guys, well, you didn't miss. There's no way to miss it. But OSP against Corey Anderson got announced as well, I think, this week.
Oh, yeah. OSP stepped in for, was it Cummins, I think, who pulled out?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to be rude to those guys, but it's very much who cares kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that fight playing out, and it's not fun at all.
No, it's not.
Vaughn Prue choke. Let's do it again. Let's
Yeah,
do it
just keep
again.
doing that. That's your finishing move. Just start,
Right. Just make that a thing and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
But I guess yeah.
Oh yeah,
Darren Till.
I forgot there were other fights on this card.
Right.
I mean, well, some of us did half our homework.
Yeah.
All of it.
I mean,
I passed. I got at least a 75.
yeah, I did.
How dare you not watch Ramazan and Sam Alvey?
I mean, I like
This co-main
Sam Alvey
though.
well enough, but come on.
I do got to talk about the co-main though, because the co-main was it was hard to watch, but at the same time it was beautiful to watch.
Can I just start this off with? There's no fucking way Jody Escobar is 5'3".
Yeah,
Dan
it was funny.
Hardy-
Yeah, Dan Hardy. I was gonna say Dan Hardy said the same thing. He's like,
Speaking of Dan
whoever had
Hardy,
the tape measure
did
did
you
that
hear-
wrong.
Did you hear Dan Hardy at one point say someone was getting dropped on their right ass cheek?
Yes.
Yes.
And then good in a few fights later, it's like, oh, what a terrible nut shot. I'm like, you guys have mics, man.
Hey man.
It's not on US TV. Nobody cares.
Yeah, but don't
Exactly.
international. Like,
Yeah.
Is the UK does UK TV like are they as like I don't know.
I don't know. I just don't
Think
want
about that.
I
somebody.
feel like the rest of the world isn't as PC as us. They probably can let things like that go.
I just don't want somebody's nan to hear nut shots on TV and assume that the UFC is all about that.
Well, it's too late now.
Alright, so Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Nailed that name.
Oh yeah, I've been
Yeah, I was waiting for
practicing
you to-
all
I was
day.
waiting for you to shout that
Karolina
off.
K. That's all I can say.
She beat the ever-loving crap out of Jody Escobar.
Yep.
In a way that nobody has done since Jody Escobar got the crap beat out of her by Alexa Grasso.
Also,
So,
Yeah, it was. Whew.
like, Carolina is very much like, I want to say like a bootleg Joanna. But she's one of those fighters. Like once she gets once she gets an idea in her head of how she can beat you, she will just keep doing that over and over and over again.
yeah.
And we've seen it work against fighters who probably should have beat her. Like
Yeah.
Rose
I would agree.
Namajunas
I would
should have
agree.
beat her.
Yeah.
And against Jody Escobar, who is like 4 inches shorter, has nowhere near the pace. Like Karolina threw 333 strikes in this fight. It's a 15-minute fight. That's like
Yeah.
22 strikes a minute.
It reminded me of like a Nate Diaz fight, except she throws kicks, and
Yeah.
like that's what it reminded me of.
She's a little better looking too. She's a little better
Yeah,
looking.
yeah.
A little bit.
And those knees. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm glad that those returned to her game. Those were like, I felt like that was kind of missing, and I also enjoyed seeing her kind of go for an armbar as well and kind of mix things up. Like that was a good performance for her.
It was like a complete fight. Like any strike you could have thrown, she probably threw and landed repeatedly multiple times. Like,
And good on the UFC for not doing what they normally tend to do when a popular fighter loses a few fights. And it's like, well, now cash out. We got to put him against somebody who's really, like she fought Rose, she fought Joanna, she fought Claudia. She went 1-2. She's in Poland. They gave her a fair fight, I thought, for what she needed. Not to say Jody Escobar's a scrub, but she was debuting. It was a different kind of fight for her.
But
yeah.
I thought that was.
Escobar is a top 10 atom weight. Like
Yes.
lower top 10, but she's a top 10 atom weight. I get that she doesn't like the cut, but this is what's gonna happen.
Yes, I would agree. And but like just in general, like they tend to. It's not like remember when they took Akira Kurosani and they had him fight Max Holloway in Sweden.
That was,
And
that was
before-
just mean.
And before that, like there are some markets they go to, like Sweden and Australia, where the matchmaking tends to take those popular fighters, and it's like Dan Kelly, Derek Brunson. What's the worst that could happen? Am I right? It's like it was nice to see them take care of Karolina and give her a fair fight at home. Same for Blachowicz.
I feel bad for Jody, man. Like that's a tough debut. Like
It really was.
that's a rough debut, man.
Sometimes the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Like, isn't
It
Karolina?
seemed-
Like, I'm not mistaken when I think Karolina is supposedly the second or first most popular Polish fighter in Poland, right? In the UFC.
I don't know.
Yeah, allegedly, I'm pretty sure they mentioned that. Yeah, like she's a big deal over there.
Pretty sure
Like-
it's Joanna and all the rest are tied. So
Well, it's Puds, and then everybody else is tied.
yeah, everybody else is. Well, he's not. He's in a tier of himself. He's like a George Tolos over there.
Dude, literally, like 6 million people tune in to watch him fight, and that's like 1/6 of Poland.
Look, dude, did you miss him versus Popek Monster? I don't think so. That's a
No, I've
big
watched
deal.
I've watched it like at least 4 times since. It's amazing.
I guess
How did
I'm
they
the
never
only
do
one who
Blitz
missed it.
Kimbo?
The fact
How did they
that
never do him versus Kimbo?
the fact that that never happened is the greatest robbery in like MMA history. It's not Barnett, Fedor, or anything like that. It's Kimbo Puds. That reaches every market.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh man. Now I'm getting Riddick Bowe, Andrew Galata flashbacks. That's not good. To the fight that they had the fight they had in the ring that then turned into the fight in the stands, like the world's nastiest. Like I think like you ever see the HBO Countdown documentary on that where Jim Lampley's like, my daughter's in this mess. I gotta go get her, and he like throws his headphones down and he's going.
Oh man.
I'm not making that up. Watch it one time. You can,
I
learn a
guess.
lot.
Oh man.
I'm not going to that crowd if that's going on. She's fend for herself. She got to make it out, right?
You got the address, babe. You'll get home.
Where's the fan man to make a pickup when you need him?
Now I'm kind of upset the soccer hooligans didn't get into the show.
Oh no, no, you don't need soccer hooligans.
Oh man.
Uh,
So
Damn.
I was gonna say for Karolina, like, so you've lost to number 1 and number 2. You dispatch of Jody pretty handedly. Do you think they rush her back to a title shot, or do we give her another, not tune-up fight, but another, just another fight along the way instead of rushing her back to the top?
As much as I would love to see her versus like Andrade, which I think would be a slaughter, by the way.
Oh no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
I
not
like
betting
Karolina
against
too much
him.
for that.
Yeah. That would.
I say get her another girl or woman at the who's Felice Herrick fighting?
Courtney Casey.
Courtney Casey. No, that would. Ooh, Courtney Casey. I think would. I think Courtney Casey would put the work on Karolina.
Think?
She beat the hell out of. She's who did she fight last in World Series of Fighting champion?
Jag.
Oh, Jag.
Aguilar,
Jag.
yeah. Casey's very. Actually, you know what? Karolina's really well coached. She has great fundamentals. I could see her, but Casey. I guess I'm higher on Casey than most people because I thought she had a chance against Gedalia. So could just be me being.
Like get her somebody at the bottom of the top 10, and then like if you have some hot shot prospects,
Yeah.
Calvillo?
in like 6 months, maybe
Calvillo,
get her that.
Think you could throw Calvillo in there?
But if she gets past the Sparza, I don't see why not.
Who's the young lady who beat Pro Gonzalez? Botelho?
Oh, but yeah.
Oh, the Italian. She's Italian, right?
No. That's
That's Romero. Romero Barra.
Poliana
Okay.
Botello.
Yeah, there she goes. She beat Pro Gonzalez. Like, give her one of those guys. Gals, rather. Ladies, rather.
I'm not mad at that.
I
Hope she doesn't.
Can't think of anybody else.
Like
I think she-
I like the Herrick fight. I like
Grasso, maybe?
Grasso. Grasso's gonna be out for a while.
All right, she just had surgery. That would have been a great fight.
Yeah. Is Maria Moros doing anything?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's coming off that loss, but like, get her one of those fights,
Oh, what's her name? Taylor.
Oh right, Taylor needs a
You could
step
do
up.
Danielle Taylor against Karolina. I think that'd be a good fight for her.
It'd force Daniel Taylor to have a fun fight.
What if we take Escabel and Taylor and stack them, like make them stand on? Because you could do Escabel Taylor. That would be the shortest fight I think
in history.
Talk,
that would be like Mascarita Dorada level.
Yeah.
Oh man.
talk about somebody who's a atom weight.
In
Yeah.
every sense of the word. In every sense. Oh man. But yeah, Karolina, that was a clinic, pretty much.
And in front of her hometown, it was not her hometown fans, but her home country fans.
Yeah.
It was a good.
And her
moment.
mom was in it. And her mom was in the crowd.
Yeah,
They mentioned that. That was like her
those are
first time her
nice
mom got a
moments
chance.
that fighters and fans don't forget. So it's nice that they put that together.
Yeah.
So shout outs to Karolina. As for Jody, I mean, for a debut, man, that's rough. Like, I can't even hold this against you. Like, that's a rough debut.
No,
You got thrown into the number 3 person. Like,
Not only the number
Yeah.
3 person, but like the number 3 person, and you fight them in their home country.
right.
yeah.
With mom's in the crowd. Like, I
Yeah.
can't emphasize that enough. Like, your mom is in the crowd. Like, of course you're not gonna lose.
That's like Karolina and Alexa Grasso have some things they do similarly, so it was kind of like a similar stylistic matchup to Grasso, and that was not a good fight for Jody either. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Also, that was only
Right.
her 3rd fight, not in the U.S.
That's not. It was a rough one.
Yeah.
She'll
And
stick around. I think she has the talent to stick around. This is just one of those things where it's like,
Like you're just gonna like it's like Louis Gaudino. Like you're just at a certain point there's a wall
yeah,
Yeah.
because of your size or because of just like your lack of like Danielle Taylor can get by at 5 feet tall because she hits like a fucking truck.
right.
Escobar doesn't have that in her back pocket, so
There's just going to be a size strength difference that eventually is going to get you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of which,
Ooh.
we can go on to the next fight. Yan.
I'll let you.
The SFL special.
Oh yeah, it's straight off of Super Fight League.
Where else are you going to see a standing bulldog choke? Get out of here.
Exactly. I'm not criticizing.
All right, I just want to make sure you know I'm not.
This is the UFC stepping their game up.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz submits Devin Clark by a bulldog choke. Don't believe the rear naked choke.
That's basically what it was. It was a bulldog choke. We just don't want. Some people just don't want to admit that such a thing happened in a UFC event.
It was very real. I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else.
it was
Not
very
only did it
real.
Not only did it have a bulldog choke, it had a big boot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Is it me or did like I don't know? Maybe it's just because I haven't watched Devin Clark fight in a little bit, but like I don't know. I feel like he was doing a lot of things I just haven't seen him do before, i.e. that big boot.
Well, that was a technical choice. That was Devin Clark saw that Jan Blachowicz was hurt.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
went for the very good technique on the big boot.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Barbarian would. Out.
you get somebody hurt, and the first move you think of is, "Oh, I'm gonna boot this guy."
He's gonna boot this fucker right in the face.
But I mean, hey, if it would have worked, we'd be singing a different song. So I'm not gonna criticize him for
I
it.
much prefer trying to finish a guy on the feet than, oh man, he's hurt. Let me go try to take him down.
Yeah.
Because how often do you see that where it's like he's hurt and then he gets against the cage and it's like, I gotta take him down now, and it almost never works.
Yeah. Really.
This fight is really why like Devin Clark. I haven't been high on him at light heavyweight,
Yeah.
but
I've
been hopeful. But like you see, like Devin Clark is just not built for light heavyweight. Like,
And was the Nicholson fight at 205 or 185?
I want to say that was at 205.
Okay.
I could be wrong. No, that was middleweight. That was his only.
Maybe he
fight.
just doesn't, yeah. Maybe he just doesn't trust his chin at 185. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Clark. I'm not giving up on him, but that was pretty.
Yeah.
Like,
On the feet, he was outclassed, and you know.
I can't give up on him either. Like I feel like there's something there. That and
Yeah.
I have a bias with LFA fighters. Like I just tend to root for them all.
like he is a tremendous athlete.
Yes,
But,
with a
like,
great
for-
gym.
Yeah, but for a guy who apparently has been boxing since he was a kid and been wrestling since he was in high school, like
Was not.
there is no type of subtlety to anything in his game.
Yeah.
Everything and if you're going to be an undersized, I guess, light heavyweight, like you have to fight the perfect fight every single time. And Clark
Right.
is just too much of like I have to explode to get the clinch or
Right.
get the takedown or throw this overhand right, and eventually things will fall apart. And that's what basically happened in the second round here. Like he whiffs on an overhand right so badly that it throws him off balance, and Blachowicz just wraps up his neck.
See, I didn't know. I didn't know he whiffed or if he was going for a takedown because I was confused when that happened.
No, he
It was
whiffed.
very, 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 very awkward.
I thought he was trying to like do one of those like I'm gonna just fling my jab or just fling a swing out there just so you'll bite and then I'll just go low. I I guess that
And
wasn't.
I also think he was a little frazzled from the body kicks,
Oh
from
my
just
God.
the kicks in general. I mean, those are powerful kicks, so you're not going to fault the guy for trying to get away from those. But
Yeah.
Yo, Yan has
Ah.
some of the best body kicks in MMA. Like that switch kick to the body is just gorgeous. If he
He's
could build,
Go
if he could
ahead.
build his whole offense around that, he'd be so much better off.
I talked about it this week. Like, he's not a bad fighter. His losses are to Jimmy Manuwa in a split decision where I kind of think he could have maybe won. He gave Glover a few problems, but not, and he had
He
comments.
tagged.
Go ahead.
He fought Gustafsson, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he tagged Gus. He tagged Gus a few good times.
yeah, he turned
actually.
Gustafsson into a wrestler.
Yeah.
He busted the shit.
And that-
was that the Cummins fight where he just beat the shit out of him before a round and then got tired?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it,
Power of the mustache kicked in.
yeah, everybody fights. Everybody gets tired of fighting Cummins after like a round.
I can't tell if that's because Cummins is just so fucking dogged or just
It's
like
205.
heavyweight. Yeah,
205.
like everybody there just gets really tired really easy.
It's the nap division. You need like naps between rounds.
Like I used to joke that like they should give like the heavyweights air between rounds.
Like those spray cans of air,
Just like give them like the whole like
oxygen masks.
the oxygen mask and the tank and everything. Like maybe they should be doing that 205.
What they should have done when they brought in 125 is like the heavyweights can tag out. You know what I mean? To the
Yeah.
flyweights. That would have got him over like, right off the bat. I'm just saying, like, I think Blachowicz, he hasn't performed. Like, there were people who, admittedly, I think there were people who, when he came in from KSW, they wanted to see him fail because KSW is like the Joker. If you don't look at their undercards, you don't see that they do have some really good talent. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the joke division. He came from the fucking goof land. And he's better than he's shown. I really do believe. I'm not going to be like, oh, he's going to fight for the title, but he's top 10 light heavyweight to me. Losing to Gustafsson is no joke. Losing to Manoa is nothing to be ashamed of. So,
Yeah.
And at 205, anything's possible.
yeah.
I
Shogun's about.
Dude, Shogun's one fight from a title fight.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Like
That is wild.
Daniel Cormier,
Save
like Cormier is one fight from heavyweight, or at least he should be.
Yeah. I mean, Cormier's one fight away from cleaning the division out. He beats Vulcan.
Yeah.
Who's left? Gus again. I'd watch that, but like he's beaten everybody except for one guy.
I mean, he hasn't beaten Shogun, or has he?
No.
Yeah.
He has
You wanna
not.
see that?
That's not a name he has on his record. He's got to earn those stripes, man.
Let's pretend. He did. Let's all
2018. We could have Shogun as champion. I'm just saying. Alexander Gustafsson hurts his knee. Daniel Cormier decides that he doesn't want to cut weight anymore, and Kane retires.
So who's Shogun fighting?
Vulcan.
Volante?
He can
Doing
fight
that-
Vulcan. Like we straight up don't know enough about Vulcan's like range striking game to say that he would outright like murder Shogun.
This is why
Vulcan.
OSP is going to win this war of attrition. He's going to have a 6-year run. There was a 205 Dominic Reyes. Let's just put Dominic. Let's put the title on Reyes and just.
I was just gonna bring him up. Where has he been?
He's got a fight coming up. I don't remember which card it's on. It's like it's on 217 or 218.
Let's Google. I got it. I got y'all.
205 is the one division where I kind of don't get mad when they rush prospects because we just need new bodies, like, at all times.
Jeremy
So-
Kimball at UFC 218.
Yeah.
He should win that fight. But Kimball's not bad. All right, let's
205 is just another podcast in itself.
We're talking about Jan Blachowicz for more than like 3 minutes. We got a problem.
I mean, this next fight, I honestly don't have a ton of input, but, all right, how do you pronounce this gentleman's last name?
I believe it's Oscar Piota.
Piota was
I like the way Piota sounds.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go Oscar Piota and Johnny Bravo, nickname Wilson. Had to throw that out there. Yeah, I watched this fight. It's not a whole lot to talk about. Wilson just didn't really
Show up.
felt like there was no urgency there. Like it was just no, and it was like his coaches in the corner were like, they gave him really simple advice.
Do
like,
something.
You just need, you're right. Like, do something. Throw more. Like, you need to just do something. And he just didn't.
At the end of the first round, he's like, "This is the fourth quarter. You gotta do like what do you say when he comes back? All right, now we're in overtime. We really need to."
You're right.
He trained with Lorenz Larkin, and you could kind of see some Larkin in that. Lay back, kind of be patient, overly patient at times.
And the thing is, it's like it's not like Oscar was so polarizing that Wilson couldn't.
No.
Like, I felt like there was opportunity there. Like, you could have done something, and you just didn't pull the trigger for whatever reason. And Oscar just won basically on him doing more because you just kind of sat there. Like, you walked him down, but you didn't. I don't know. Fights like this are always weird for me to watch. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I think Wilson. I'm not 100% sure. I think Wilson might have been scared off his game. Like the trip takedown that Piotr hit in the first round, where like
that back take was pretty.
Oh my god, yeah! Like he
for
climbs.
A big guy.
He climbs his back as Wilson is like standing up, and threatens with the rear naked choke for like a solid 2 minutes. Then he comes back in the next round and just gets put on his ass, like
at the end of the round,
Yeah.
But we saw Masvidal get his back taken by Maia. Not to compare them, no situations are ever too alike, but you gotta have some urgency after that. Like you gotta know you lost that round, and you also have to feel a little bit of confidence. Hey, he had my back. I survived it. We're okay. Everything's all right. It just wasn't clicking. No spark.
The thing with Wilson, he's an MMA native who got his start in like Explode Fight Series.
Yeah, that's not great.
And got signed out of fighting in like Gladiator Challenge. Like, you're basically coming into the UFC with like no experience. Like all respect to all the people he fought, they were brave in stepping in the cage with him and everything like that. But like, Explode Fight Series is where you go when you want easy wins. Gladiator Challenge is where you go when you want easy wins.
Right.
And like so. Basically, this man's first real MMA fight was against Chris Dempsey to bring it back.
Dempsey, yeah.
So.
Wow.
Everything comes full circle.
Nobody's gonna get that. I don't think we were recording when we mentioned him.
No, we recorded this whole thing. We've been recording since the get.
Man.
Everything comes full circle.
Sir, you have to go back and you have to cut the part where we talked about Chris Dempsey.
Oh man.
Just so you guys know, we were on the phone for like 45 minutes before we actually started about anything.
Yeah, it went a whole lot of nowhere. Kind of like the middle portion of this card. Just a whole lot. Actually, I take that back. There was Nasrat Haqparast was really impressive.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I guess shout out to Oscar, solid win, not a whole lot to
good for him.
talk about. But Marcin Held and I'll let you say that name again.
Nasrat Haqparast.
I'll just say for one, thank God Marcin Held got a win. This I felt like he's had the most unfortunate like career coming over from Bellator so far, and I was happy to see him get a win. But yeah, Nasrat was throwing some heat, man. Like
Mini Kelvin Gastelum was on his game, man.
Like I'd never heard of him before this fight. Didn't really know anything about him, but yeah, like he conceivably could have won this had a few situations just went a bit different. But yeah, he was throwing some heat, man. Like Held had to work. And it's weird because Held has fought Lozon, Sanchez. Did he have another fight before?
Yeah. Oh my God, Hadzovic, Damir Hadzovic.
The man who need the crap out of him as he left for Imanari.
What a perfect way to start the third round.
Yeah. Dude, but Held's whole career, like UFC career, has been like low key trap fights. Like Sanchez, like he is not a good he is not a good fighter at this point in his career, but he's still a damn good wrestler. Like that seems to be like the only thing he can do, but he does it extremely well. Joe Lozon, like I guess, like you can say that's a more fair matchup, and like a bunch of people thought he won. I don't remember what I thought, but that's a guy who is going to really take it to Held and like who's going to take it to Held for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And one of the things with Held is he kind of slows down as the fights go
Yeah,
on.
he got 3 cardio machines right out of the gate.
Yeah, and like Hadzovic, like the only thing I knew about him going into that fight is he likes throw knees. And he has
Well, it looks like Held skipped that part of the game plan day.
That's right.
yeah, and apparently he's a dude who fought Yako. So
Who did he? I only know his nickname is the Bosnian Bomber, and he fought somebody on that Croatian card and got melted, but I don't remember his name.
oh my god, I know who you're talking about.
Really good fighter. I can't
Like
remember.
the most inappropriate sounding nickname in MMA.
I hate it. Whenever he's on a card and I gotta write that up.
It was Demir. It was Demir.
Yeah.
God,
God.
terrible.
Ooh.
Venator veteran, by the way.
They churn out.
Oh man,
They churn out.
Nasrat's only 22 years old.
Yeah, and he trains. I follow a couple Twitter accounts that follow European MMA, and he was one of those prospects that they talk a lot about. He trains with TriStar. I trained with TriStar for this fight, but he's Rafa Cordero. He's the Rafa Cordero prodigy. Which, by the way,
You
that
can
means
see it.
he's in the same gym with Kelvin Gastelum.
Oh my
And I don't
god, they look exactly the same.
Exactly alike.
Right.
So, and apparently Hakrapas was a great athlete. Like there was a lot of buzz, and he lived up to it. And young fighters don't know better sometimes. And I'm gonna rewatch that fight again soon. That second round when he clinched and judo through Held, I feel like that was a risk he didn't have to take. And when you succeed on a risk like that, it makes you more risky. And he kind of put himself like he was trying to do too much in his debut. And I feel like that second round lost him the fight because I thought he won the third.
Yeah.
I personally believe the second, but he left. He got a little too careless, and he paid for it. Bright future for the guy, though.
Dude, Afghanistan's second best fighter, behind
Oh
CR.
God, who's number? Yeah. He was Nasrat was impressive, and Held. Thank God he got a win. That guy needs to.
Yeah.
That guy needs a 165 class. I don't know what it is, but his cardio is not no bueno. For a guy who's gone 5 rounds, he didn't look great.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, thank God you got to win. Because if he would have went 0-4 and got cut, I would have been hurt. Not that I think he's gonna be like a champ or anything, but I feel like he can be a good, like middle of the road guy. Like throw him in a card, he'll give you a solid performance. He'll eke out some good wins, but he might not make it to the top.
Don't feel too bad
But-
for him because at least Held has like some place to go back to. Like,
Oh man, Gamrot against Held would sell the Tokyo Dome in Poland out. Like that's
yeah,
it's a big fight. Oh man.
But his next fight was pretty exciting though.
fight of the night.
All right, I'm probably gonna mess his name up. Brian Kelleher and Damian
Oh,
Stasiak.
Stasiak. Stasiak.
Stasiak.
I thought you were going with Sam Alvey. I was about to say fight of the night. Are you ribbing me or like?
Oh no, I'm going straight. I'm
okay,
reading it
you
from
were-
Sure Dog. I'm going straight straight down the list.
Perfect. Okay.
Well,
still gotta-
Alvy's next though. He's next, so
Oh,
be
perfect.
ready. But so Kelleher, man, this guy like quietly, he's 2-1 in the UFC. He came in on that fight against Alcantara and just choked the man in a fight that nobody even knew who Kelleher was. But yeah, this fight was just really fun to watch. Like, and I think they mentioned it during the announcements, or not announcements, commentary, that apparently he wants to be like the Donald Cerrone of this division.
I mean, he's off to a good start because this is his third fight in like 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets busy, man. Like and shout out to Damian too, though, because like these two were going at it. Like it was a really good like back and forth up until. I'm trying to remember how this ended. I can't remember the end sequence. I'm kind of mad because I know I saw it.
He got hurt and he was stumbling around on like deer legs, and I think he either face planted and then got pounded out, or Kelleher caught him over the top. He went down, and then the ground and pound followed suit.
You see, this is why I hate myself because I took notes. And literally before you got in the call, Joey, I went downstairs to go get them. I told him I was going down there to go get them.
I see.
And I haven't looked at them once.
Do you want to hear my notes for this fight?
Yeah, please.
Stop fucking spinning, Davian. That's all I remember. Can we talk about that? Like, first off, that was really impressive. Damian Stasiak moves like a 70-year-old man, but he was throwing some really nice spinning techniques. But I feel like if you hit a spinning technique once, the likelihood of it, like, he's spinning, he's like a top out there. He's back fists and spinning wheel kicks and liver kicks, and like, I've always felt like if you can land that technique early, that's great. But the effectiveness of it, unless you're Edson Barboza, the effectiveness of it by the time you get to round 3, it's just energy sapping, isn't it? Like, it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
So
like, Stasiak's a weird dude because like he's just like a tough fight, but like you can't really pinpoint what he does well besides be like tough.
Yeah. Oh no, he's got a great post-fight celebration. That's his. We didn't get to see it here though. We didn't get to see the machine gun.
No, because he was barely conscious.
He's got a family, man. He's got a family. They could be listening.
I mean, well, tough.
He does spinning.
For me,
tell them to heed my advice then, and like tell him to stop spinning.
Stop spinning, you.
Also, he has one of the ugliest takedown attempts in like MMA. Like
he's so unexplosive. It's almost like everything he does looks like ooze. Like he just kind of there's no rhythm, no like. If you watched him and then you watched Tony Ferguson, it would be like color TV, like going from black and white to 4K. Like it's just somebody. I remember watching the Davey Grant fight, and I don't know if it was you or someone else who said it looks like watching a UFC, like the EA UFC game on lag. There's no speed to anything he does, but he's fucking throwing spinning kicks, and I'm impressed. But like Kelleher knew what they were coming. He saw them every time.
Yeah, except the first one. The first one.
Oh no, that was a great one, and I think he hurt him later on. But if your success rate is 2 out of 20 and you don't finish him on either one, like why? Paul Felder used to do that all the time, like during that losing streak he had, and it was just like, stop. You're doing fine without him. Like you don't have to abuse it.
Yeah.
And Kelleher, yeah, good. I like Kelleher a lot. You know, he lost to my man Chito Vera, but overall, you know, there's no shame in that. Chito's a hell of a fighter.
I can't like Kelleher on principle because he's the only reason Julio Arce isn't in the UFC.
I'm sorry.
but he's damn exciting to watch every time.
But isn't he from your neck of the woods? Shouldn't you support him for being from around there?
That's not how this works.
No
this
hometown
is why
love.
MMA can't grow. This is why MMA can't grow in the United States because we don't support our guys like they support them in Poland and Ireland and Brazil.
Dude, you give me a Jersey dude who on the card who is going to fight for the title. I'm there. Kelleher is from Oceanside, New York. They don't do nothing for me.
Oh wow.
Plus he's from
I know.
Jimmy from Bomb Squad. Jimmy Rivera, like there's my guy. But no, like he beat the ever living shit out of Kelleher. Or not, I'm sorry, Stasiak.
Jesus, yeah, he did. He's a violent. He just looks mean. Kelleher has the fighter face. Right? Just a very mean looking. I've heard he's very nice.
I think it's the bald head. I think the bald
And the
head gives him
missing
like that hitman look.
It's
And
crazy. This dude used to fight like lightweight. Like he's fought for. I want to say he fought for like the CFFC lightweight title at one point, or something like that. No, he fought in CCFC at lightweight against Jeff Smith and lost.
He's one of those guys, man. He's got that. This might be an unfair comparison. Matt Brown style, where the record doesn't match the skills, so it's like, oh, this guy's 13-5. Like, what can he do?
Yeah,
This guy can. 135 is full of really great fighters, and he's up there.
Yeah. He's the guy to keep an eye on. Like, if you want to see an exciting fight, regardless if he wins or loses, like, he's somebody
He's got
somebody
that.
to watch.
Technical brawler kind of guy.
like he just thrives in chaos.
That's a great way to put it. Some fighters are like that. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of chaos or lack thereof, I will hand this next fight off because I made the conscious decision to skip it due to certain rumblings and ramblings that I heard via the internet, and this is one of the few instances where I trusted and believed in the internet, and I guess they did right by me.
Oh, they did.
So Yeah, I'm gonna hand this fight off, and I will let you give your take on whatever it was that happened or didn't happen.
Is this my go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your floor is yours.
Sam Alvey against Ramazan Emeev. By the way, in my notes, I wrote Ramadan about 4 times. If you've seen a Sam Alvey fight that goes beyond a round, you saw this fight. I like Sam Alvey. He seems like a generally positive guy. You can separate person from artist. Sam Alvey after the first round is really not the most exciting fighter in the world. He's he's a conservation kind of guy. He missed weight for this fight, but he took it on short notice. By the way, he had to cut like 30 pounds in like a week, which, what are you doing? It's okay to say no to a fight. I think more fighters need to be, if you can't make the weight, please don't do that to yourself. So Alvey didn't even have his first round explosiveness. He was just the body in there, and it's unfortunate because he's a nice guy and he's a good fighter within that first round. But and Emeev didn't really do anything special either. The commentary was so enthralled with the action, they were discussing Emeev's law degree. So it wasn't like there was much to call. If you love clinching, this is your magnum opus. I like Sam Alvey. I don't have a feeling about Ramazan Emeev. Maybe he'll look better the next time, but they got to schedule Sam Alvey in these Pride style or these 1 round 20-minute fights, because he after the first round it's the same fight over and over, and I don't know what else I can say. I'm emotionally drained after that. Like, I got nothing to give anybody after that.
I will come to bat for Sam Alvey.
Oh my God, go ahead.
Sam Alvey is the consummate overachiever. Dude, there's no reason. This man has like 14 UFC fights in like 3 years. There's no reason he should have like a positive record. Just based on his skill set and his like everything.
You're so much nicer than me about this. Like, I'm upset. Like, I guess because it's like the card was moving along. We had a little bit of a rhythm going. Lawbov against.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say I like watching Sam Alvey fight.
Right.
But at middleweight especially, where everybody is just. Where if at one point in this division, like I don't know, was Nick Ring a middleweight, or am I just like mistaking myself?
No, he was a middleweight.
Yeah,
yep.
Like at one point, Nick Ring was like the in between fighting like I don't know, Damian Maya, or who was another?
He fought Boach.
Boach, like Tim Boach. Tim Boach is like an in between like fighting like I don't know, like a guy like Sam Alvey and Luke Rockhold. That's the jump at middleweight.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get easy. The unremarkableness of this division outside of like the top 10 is astounding to me.
There are a lot of Damian Stasiaks in middleweight in terms of athleticism. There are not a lot of.
It's literally just like a bunch of
plodding,
really
clunky.
It's literally just like a bunch of tough dads. Like
that's Dan Kelly.
Dan Kelly, Eric Spicely, Sam Alvey, Tim Coach. You have to be pasty and you have to be very slow to make it at 185.
Exactly.
Somebody being described as a tough dad.
Dan Kelly's like a granddad.
Oh,
and
man.
then put him against Derek Brunson. Who thought that was a good idea?
Yo, he beat the former light heavyweight champion. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, yeah.
he washed the former light heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Washed him.
What was Rashad's prime again? I believe the Xbox 360 was just getting released.
But
oh, man.
So like to just come back to Alvey, like the man has a gimmick. The man has.
Wasn't that a problem earlier when I said someone had a gimmick? People got all upset.
No. That was the Pygmy people.
I see. I apologize. Sorry, Pygmy.
But this is a guy who is literally just his primary way of making money is I'm going to try and stay in shape. And I'm
Such
like,
a
it's just remarkable to me that he's made his UFC career, like I said, he basically has done it one-handed.
yeah.
Because
I mean,
that's the only punch he throws.
I'm not knocking Sam Alvey. I like him as a person. I think he's motivational. I think he's inspirational. I just don't want to see him fight rounds 2 and 3 anymore. I just don't. I can't do it, man.
We should have certain fighters who just are only allowed to fight one round.
Diego Brandao.
Like they have to give up like 50%
Maximo
of that
Blanco.
purse. But that's
Oh Lord! Every time I hear his name, I get.
Well,
Blanco?
Brando's going to jail, so.
Oh,
No, not Brandao. Blanco.
Maximo Blanco. Oh.
Has Maximo Blanco been signed by Ryzen yet? Because that should have been happened.
He fought, but I don't know. I don't think it was with them. I don't know. Sam Alvey's a nice guy. I like him. I wish there was like a place in MMA for guys like Sam Alvey. Like, can you put him behind a desk? Can you? Because he seems like he's very knowledgeable at the sport. He seems really nice. Like he is kind of like I could see him being a good spokesperson for the sport. These second and third rounds they're killing me, man. The Talis Lates fight was like Rashad Evans. Like he's a great first round fighter, but man,
Yeah.
Tough Dads might be the name of this podcast. I'm
tough
just saying.
dads.
I mean, dude, there was a point with like Polish cards, like, and apparently we're getting past it because like the Polish fighters on this card look really good. Karolina K, some of them. Oscar Piotr, he looked good. Yeah. But like at one point, like there was a time where like everybody coming out of Poland was basically like Damian Stasiak.
It's a good point. That's fair.
So
That's
like,
fair.
I think it's
feel-
pretty fitting that Sam Alvey's on this card.
I
I'm just
feel
saying.
so. I have to admit, I feel horrible. Like I wasn't trying to rant on Sam Alvey the person. He's a great. Like I just these fights.
No,
man,
like I think everybody gets it. Like everybody likes Sam Alvey except for when he fights.
And I mean like the problem.
Like everything about Sam Alvey is like cool. Like his freaking weird thing about like always being happy.
Yeah, Sam Alvey's a great highlight reel fighter. Like if you watch his like a YouTube reel of him, he's amazing. But like those, oh boy.
Like the fact that he fights like 6 times a year, the fact that his wife is like won the 11th season of America's Top Model and is now his head coach.
Yeah,
And she gives really solid corner advice.
She does. There's a guy who managed a champion once who might be under her in the totem pole. So, you know what I mean.
I enjoyed that. That was one of the best segments I've ever been a part of.
Oh, I'm like, oh Jesus! Now I have to. Are you just gonna book me every time Sam Alvey's got to fight? So I gotta come on.
Oh,
Hey, Sam Alvey does fight like 100 times.
150 times a year.
So
Speaking of which, it's kind of ironic that Alvey and Lobov fought like back to back because they're kind of very similar in terms of overachievers who lack kind of that one specific. Alvey has one specific trait, but like just that, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
I'm moving my hands like you can see me.
yeah.
I'm trying to negotiate this now.
No,
I think Lobov is another guy who's.
Artem Lobov. Oh, sorry. Were you? Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's another guy like I mentioned earlier. He's good at being tough. I guess you could say he does constantly plot forward for better or worse. Not sure what else he does though, but
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna come to bat for Lobov soon.
Oh
No,
god.
I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna say about Lobov, and I think anybody who's seen him fight would agree. So go ahead.
He's tough. Like he is a testament to how like toughness can carry you very far in this sport. Like absurd amounts of toughness, and he's getting better. Like he for some way somehow. Well, I know exactly how. You get to hang around with Conor,
and you don't take a fight on 6 hours notice. Outside of your weight class.
Yeah, and like you get to hang with all the people who Conor brings in to train with him. Like
Right.
you're just bound to pick things up. And like
Yeah.
that's basically who he is. He's the training partner opponent. Like he is the benchmark for like not a bench. He's a benchmark for like he's like how Roy Nelson was years ago, basically.
I know what you mean.
Like where you know what you're going to get. You know what's coming. Can you stop it?
Right.
And he's gotten better at what he's done in the past. Like, he is a better, like, the Swanson fight. I don't think we put I don't think like when we talked about it, we talked about how like pace intensive that was. And Lobov was in that fight for like 25 minutes. Like, he was getting beat.
And right.
Yeah, and
he gets you to fight his fight no matter who you are and what your style is. He makes it like these ugly, grueling, like, he got Feely to fight his fight. He got Ishihara to fight his fight. The only guy I can think about, he got Swanson to engage with him on a number of occasions. The only guy I think he didn't was Alex White and
Ryan Hall.
Yeah, but Ryan Hall was a tough fight, so you kind of be a little
no, it makes sense. Yeah, but like,
so
yeah, like,
he's just one of those guys. He's heavily motivated. He's always in shape. He has an idea of what he does well. He eventually gets you to fight his kind of fight. He gets hurt. He gets up. You know, he's a fighter who you can. He's an admirable kind of fighter.
like, he is a matchmaker's dream.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a prospect and you want to see where they're at, this is the type of guy you match him with. Which is why I really like this fight with Feely. Like I think it's fair to say certain traits Lobov have troubled Feely in the past.
Yeah.
Like, combination counter punchers, which is basically Lobov's whole jam, have given Feely tons of trouble. They tend to be They've tend to been a little bit longer. Like guys like Galvin Qatar,
Holloway, obviously.
Holloway, Yair Rodriguez, but that's a little different.
Yeah.
Like, they're guys who don't give Feely his range and his space, like his pace and everything like that. And Feely did a really good job adapting here. Like,
I thought so as well. And apparently he was hurt as well, so.
that makes it.
Yeah, he had his arm in a sling after the fight or something like that.
Yeah.
He didn't break it, but yeah, something was wrong with it.
He walked Lobov into punches. When he got tired and like Lobov started landing, he walked him into takedowns. Like,
he took a hell of an uppercut from
Yeah.
Lobov. What a chin.
So, like,
I gotta say that for both of them. That is one thing. The Lobov does have a pretty mean.
Oh,
He
yeah.
can eat some hits, man. Like, he can eat a shot like it's nothing.
we're talking about a guy who, like Joey said, like, he moved up to like welterweight to accept fights, and he's only been knocked out once. He's accepted fights on like 6 hours notice.
This is like such a drastic contrast in emotions between Alvey, Ameev, and this. Like, this was a fight that you, even if it was, because, you know, you're going to have those MMA fans who are like, oh, there's nothing technical. Like, there was some really good stuff in here from both guys. And it was an exciting fight, fought at a good pace. I don't necessarily know if I like the shenanigans kind of going around the fight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that was great.
Oh, we have two mentions of shenanigans, I guess.
Ooh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
Sometimes
I don't get how, just a thing. I don't get how I even missed all of these shenanigans. Like, was this happening while the fight was going on? Because I must have been completely blanked out.
The first one was.
Yeah,
and
the
that's
first
the one where Mark Goddard.
He's not taking this shit.
Yeah, he stops the fight in like the second round, I think it is.
Yeah.
He goes over to the side of the cage and tells Conor McGregor to shut up and sit down and to act.
It had to have been the second round because the camera in the third round was on Conor with like his hands together, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, Mark Goddard is not taking any shit. Like, what are you doing over there?
Like, the funny part is, like, as soon as Goddard turned around and restarted the round, Conor went right back.
Right back to it. He didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some old security guard had to like walk him back to his seat.
The same guy, was it the same guy who had to control Mike fucking Perry, who thought that was a good assignment for this poor lad?
Oh my god.
I don't know if he had Mike Perry or if he had Daniel Till, and he didn't really have Daniel Till because Till climbed the cage.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, Conor was a little out of control. I think it's worth noting, because there's going to be a lot of talk about Conor McGregor's comments. I think it is worth noting he showed up with a drink in his hand, so he may have been a little.
I mean, he was almost like, dude. Like, anytime I see Conor, I assume he's been drinking.
Yeah, like,
especially when he does have camp. Like, there's a man who showed up to his own press conference like post-fight presser drunk
Drunk, yeah.
off like
One against-
$20,000 vodka or
The
something.
one against Seaver, I think, is the most notorious one where he was feeling pretty good. But just because we're gonna have to discuss the comment, I figured, but just maybe he wasn't in the right state of mind. I don't want to say that he was drunk, but he did show up like when the camera came right on him, he had a drink, so he may have been feeling a little.
He was plastered.
I mean, the man just made
No word
$100
about
million.
I feel confident
I
saying
would-
he was probably plastered. I'm
I-
not excusing him, but
No, I'm not. I'm not. I didn't want to excuse it. Just he may have had. He came in with a drink from what I saw.
Dude, I'm just saying, if I had just made $100 million or $100 million or whatever the fuck he made, I'd be plastered 24/7 too.
Yeah, I don't.
yeah,
blame him.
he's earned it. I guess.
But
Um,
I guess we can get to the post fight.
Well, hold on. But I guess before, real quick, I don't even really know if I even commented. I just listened to y'all, and I just kept. I just. Not that I have much even to even
No,
add,
you
but.
started it. You had a 6-minute prepared speech on Artem Lobov. You were the first one to go. Were you?
Oh yeah, I did. I kind of forgot. I got lost.
Somebody
in the,
had a
in,
speech
in
on.
the
Somebody
shuffle.
was very eloquent about Artem Lobov. Whoever it was.
It wasn't me because I don't do eloquent.
Ah,
Well, I'll just say
go ahead.
just two things I picked up on this. I feel like Lobov could just do a world of better if he just had a bit more head movement. Like, I just feel like he eats a lot of, well, when you have a chin made of iron, I guess you can just kind of get away with it. But
No.
chins eventually fade,
Yes.
and that's not a style you probably want to keep going. But he'll probably keep doing it. I doubt he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's probably going to change that.
Right.
He'll just plot forward and throw bombs, and whatever happens happens. But I thought it was good by Philly that while he got walked down, he worked angles. He didn't fight in a straight line. He didn't allow himself to get caught in too many bad spots. I mean, he ate some shots, but he fought the smart fight to win. So
Yes.
just wanted to give him some props. Now we can get to Conor. And
I
his...
still don't know. Like, just to piggyback off what you said about Feely, I still don't have a feel for this guy. Ironic name aside, like, I don't know if he came into the UFC as kind of the big team alpha male prodigy, and like I still have no idea what he really.
I don't get that from him. Like I get a guy like this. There's definitely some talent there, but like there's nothing to me that says, he's gonna like hit that like next level. But
he's
I don't know.
He's 8 years into his career at this point. Like,
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to imply that he was still he's just one of those fighters that I don't have a good read on. I don't know if this is his ceiling. I don't know if this is like where and what is his ceiling? Is it consistently outside the top 15? Is it, I don't know.
I could see him maybe crack the top 15, but he probably, honestly, I think would be like toward that bottom end.
but
Like,
I think
don't
he's going to be a
see
guy
him-
who bounces in and out the bottom like 5.
Right.
Like, he's going to be in that 11 to 15 spots some months, and then like he's going to like lose to like your Calvin Guitars, and then he'll go back and like find somebody else to beat, like a Hackron Diaz or something.
Yeah, like that's such a swing of like opponents and performances. He was so great against Hakron Diaz. Against Calvin Guitar, all respect to Calvin Guitar, he's not like on paper who gave him a chance.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he dominated Feely. Like, he did things to beat Feely, but I just kept waiting for Feely to like explode or do like it just never came.
Like the team alpha male strikers, and like I exclude Cody Garbrandt from this because he obviously started boxing way back when he was a younger kid.
Yeah.
Like I'm always hesitant when like a large part of your game and your team alpha male isn't based solely around like wrestling and scrambling and like submission fighting, because like especially after Bang left, like I don't trust them to build well-rounded strikers.
Which was your complaint about PVZ, Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah.
You didn't trust them to mold her game, and there you go.
Like, they're going to teach you some things that you can do with your skills. Like, if you're explosive and you're short, they're going to teach you that overhand right that they all do. But they're not going to make you into a pressure fighter or a range fighter or blah, blah, blah. They're going to make you into somebody who can get your grappling working and mix it up. And that's just not Feely. That's not what Feely wants to do. He wants to strike. So, I don't know.
I don't disagree. I'm trying
Solid win, nonetheless. So
There you
I guess on to Connor's world of shenanigans.
It would be nice if we could go a week without bringing up Conor.
to. Some people, that's all they want to hear, dude.
I mean, like, if you're going, because he's constantly brought up like during UFC programming for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I get what you're meaning.
They could at least use that to propel some of their other fights. Like,
don't disagree at all.
Ferguson Lee might have sold a touch better if it had said winner faces Conor.
Speaking of using his name, just a quick side note. This happened a while ago, but when I saw it, it was so messed up. So Dustin Poirier was gonna. I don't know if he did the interview, but like he was about to. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
He was about to get interviewed by I can't remember the publication,
ESPN.
and it was ESPN.
Yeah. Conor,
And they announced him, you're right, as former Conor McGregor opponent. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
that's what.
Wait.
That's so just.
They sit down at the negotiating table to talk about this fucking TV deal. I hope they bring Dustin in there. Just
like,
get a little few words.
That's like the most. And it's not like. I can see if Dustin was like some bottom feeder, like, you know. But like. He's legit, man. Like, Dustin is a beast. You can't just.
It's so weird. It's so weird how MMA, Dustin Poirier is an amazing fighter. He's a great fighter. And I feel like if this was 2011, 2012, 2013, he would have gotten more respect after beating Conor. But MMA has changed in a weird kind of sense where it's like, now he is just Conor McGregor's opponent. Alvarez versus Conor. I had a few casual fans with me during UFC 2, was it 11 that they did Alvarez and Poirier? And it was like, every comment was like about how Conor McGregor beat both guys. And I'm like, well, they're still great fighters. Like, nah, like, Conor already beat these guys. Why do I want to watch this fight? And I'm like, because it's a fucking great fight. Pay attention. And it's like, oh, at the end of it, they won them over. But it's weird how MMA, and this is MMA fans, not just casual fans, who's like, well, he lost to Conor, so he can't be that great. It's like, give him a fucking, like
how dipshit is that? Especially considering, like, Aldo is still Conor's best win.
Yeah. It's just weird how, like, with all of the greats, like, Cormier will never get the credit because he didn't beat Jones. It's like, oh, the guy who John Jones beat twice is going to fight for the title. Like, I don't waste the point. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand where things changed. When I got into the sport, it was like, if you lost, it didn't matter, kind of. Like, it mattered, but it didn't define the rest of your career. So it's weird how, like, as the stars got bigger and the money got bigger, there was, like, a disconnect between who matters and who doesn't in the eyes of the public.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people are trying to use MMA math and that way. And if I've learned anything watching MMA math does not matter. It doesn't work.
No,
it never works.
It's just about a different fighter every time.
Yeah.
The fighter is different every time. So who wants to climb this McGregor mountain?
Well, I didn't even see this until 20 minutes before we started recording.
So
yeah, this flew over my ear when it happened.
So,
didn't even know.
Okay, let's just rip the bandage off. Was it? Oh God, I don't remember if I watched the clip. I just saw that somebody posted it. So was it backstage?
Yeah, after the fight. Yeah.
So backstage after the fight, and this was first tweeted out by the UFC social media team, and then promptly deleted.
Somebody does not like Conor in that, because they do shit like that a lot with him. He does not have a fan in the. Because remember the poster where they didn't put his title on? Like there's somebody in their marketing department or whatever who got a problem with him.
Yeah, problem. Yeah, well, I could see it. They make him. Whenever he fights, they have to do extra work. So.
And I'm sure he's not. Maybe. Well, I can't speak to the.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, he's probably a dick.
Well, I wouldn't. I just he's a star, and stars have to be treated a certain way, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So after the fight backstage, Conor was caught on camera calling Andre Fili. Well, I'm not gonna say the word, but
the unaccepted F word.
The unaccepted F word.
Not the one with 4 letters.
The gay slur.
Yeah.
No less than 3 times.
I heard it at least twice.
Yeah. So that's a thing that happened.
A week after, or a few weeks after, Fabricio Verdum
was forced to
with the LG
he's forced to reach out to the LGBT community
in Las Vegas. Yeah.
in Las Vegas. Will the UFC do anything about this? No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
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 But it's not to. Can we just be better?
No.
Oh God.
We
No, I'm
can't
just
be
saying,
better.
like Conor McGregor, when gay marriage in Ireland came up, Conor McGregor very eloquently, in his own way, talked about supporting gay marriage. And so it's like, I don't think he's homophobic or that he has anything, but it's just like, can we retire that word as like an insult? It's just like, we should be a little better. MMA, if it ever wants to reach a certain point, has to be better. Our fans have to be better, because I see a lot of people who are like, oh, it's just what's so PC, it's just a word. It's really not to those people. So why would you... I want the sport to grow. I want everybody to feel like they're involved and they have somebody, or they have something that they care about. So it's like, it's insulting an audience potentially that you could have, but most of all, it's just tacky. It looks bad to people who don't follow the sport.
Yeah. It makes the sport look shitty as a whole.
It happens so often.
Yeah.
Cerrone a couple years ago. You remember that?
Yeah. Michael Bisping. Speaking of which,
to Bisping's credit, not to defend my favorite fighter of all time, Michael Bisping, but to Bisping's credit, he said it and then like almost immediately apologized. So he kind of knew, and Conor may have just been trying to console a teammate, but there were so many other words you could have used in that situation, and you try to give him a pass because he was drinking and enjoying the show, and
I don't think Conor is homophobic.
I don't think so either.
But still,
Yeah, you got to do better. You got to do better.
You have to do better. Like,
you're the face of the sport, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, this is the same dude.
Oh boy.
Like, let's just say Conor might not be a racist, but this is the same dude who said he was going to ride down into Brazil and kill everybody in the favela that he couldn't put to work or something like that. Like,
I mean, all you need to know. Again, I don't think he's a racist either. I think the problem with him is when he hypes a fight, he has no filter. We're talking about the same guy who. It would have been so easy for him to have just said, "Look, I'm not aware of the connotation of that word that I used with Floyd. I think he called him like boy or son. I'm not familiar with it." Or instead, he came out in the middle of his press conference and was like, "I'm half black," and then half black, and then shouted out all the fine black women. Like, dude, you're gonna be a dad. You gotta be a little careful what you're saying. Well, he is a dad now, but like, just the downside to this is he's not really hyping a fight, so it's even worse. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So,
better choice of words.
Oh yeah,
and also like I don't even know people like in my personal life who even say that. Like, back in the day, you're young, you didn't know any better. You said whatever. I don't know anybody I know now who even like still says that, like even as an insult. Like,
so I'm trying to think, like, conservative older, like mid-30s black dudes and edgy white teens.
Had you not said black dudes, I have to admit, I totally thought you were gonna do a wraparound and be like, older 30s conservative white guys, the UFC fan. I thought that's where you were going.
No.
I thought that's where you were going.
I think like I don't mean conservative like politically. I mean like socially, like dudes like.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Like,
yeah, like I
like,
just
like
I'm
like,
just I don't want to say I'm disappointed. I think Conor would be disappointed in himself for saying it. Like I think that he probably knows he made a mistake. Although like he's not one to back down when he. Although there was that one time he called Dennis Seaver a Nazi and deleted it, so maybe he does understand.
Yeah.
Not to get on another side tangent. I was also wondering too that like, and not to give him a pass, but like, I'm not from Ireland. I don't know what goes on over there.
Okay.
But I'm wondering like, is their culture just different? Like they probably, then like I said, not to give a pass, but like maybe they're not as.
Maybe.
I don't know. maybe like that stuff. I don't want to say it flies over there, but maybe people don't, I guess, get up in arms. Like maybe it's not a big a deal over there, so he maybe just
but he
feels
makes
like
his money
he can.
He lives in Las
that
Vegas.
is true.
He lives
Yeah,
in Las
so he-
Vegas.
yeah.
You've made that, you know.
Like,
Yeah, you got to do
And
that.
even then, like, I don't think that's, well, like you said, it's not pass. It's like,
Yeah.
Right. No, I understand.
Because it
I
just seems like
still-
he's really like comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Almost like too comfortable. Where it's like, you kind
the
of
problem that
like I don't.
and it,
Yeah, I don't want to put any labels on you, but you're walking the line,
like,
man.
I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. Like, when I was in Scotland, I heard the C word more times in 5 days than I had in 24 years of living in here. Living here, so
now
I
I'm
get
wait,
what you
The
mean.
C word. Now I'm trying to. 4 letters.
4 letters.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying like cracker. I was gonna be like, were they looking at you, or were they looking past you, or you know? No, like I just the face of the sport, man. That's all I can say is like he's the face of this sport. He's the guy who moves the money.
He's the face of combat sports.
Yeah,
Sure.
with Floyd gone, it's like you gotta just a little more. He was in the moment, but like, why is that the automatic word for like? Because you always hear like people say, "Well, I didn't mean to say it like against gay people. I just meant he fought like a bitch." Like that's much better. It's just I don't understand why people, especially someone like him, would run that risk. Which is why maybe he was a little.
Well, that whole defense is just like,
I hate it too. Cerrone's fans.
well, just like
kinda
not even
did-
in just like combat sports, like heated
Yeah.
gaming moment. Like, what the hell? I'm
Yeah.
not- like I'm not.
Yeah, that shouldn't be your go-to insult.
Yeah.
If that's your go-to, that tells me some things about you.
Yeah.
Like,
You need
But-
to open your worldview and meet some people who are a little different than you.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man.
calm down, Irish man. Calm
Calm-
down.
Make
so
us don't make us get Tony.
Right.
we still have 3 fights left. I just realized this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, what do you want to talk about those 3 fights?
I didn't see Alves, so ask me.
Wally Alvarez
You didn't miss
beats
anything. Next fight.
Salim Toari by decision, and
You
I
didn't,
don't really have much else. Yeah, I didn't watch it, so I
oh,
can't say
okay.
anything.
You didn't miss much. Warley Alves.
Well,
Warley Alves looked really good in spurts. He was more patient. He was more composed. But that flew in the face of what he had apparently told Dan Hardy, which was that he wanted to be very aggressive. He wanted to get back to being exciting, but he was really composed, which is fine. But it was like Salim Touhari came in on short notice. He really didn't do much. It was 15 minutes.
You're on a 2-fight losing
The
streak.
highlight was Conor McGregor showing up with a drink in his hand to sit in the front row. That was the,
You see, I heard that because I was listening to it while I was at work. And I'm like, why are they cheering?
Conor walked in.
Oh, Warley probably thought he did some awesome move.
No, they
We
were
turn
they were
around.
in the clinch. It felt like they were in the clinch for 3 years.
Uh,
And the crowd there's a Polish guy. He's very popular in the area. The crowd wanted to cheer for him. They were rooting his name consistently throughout the fight, but it was like, what are you rooting for at some point? He just never got going.
Actually, I did watch these next two.
Yeah.
Aspen,
Okay, I take it back. I apologize to Aspen Lad.
Yeah, Aspen Ladd and Lena Landsberg.
Second.
I thought Lena started off pretty good.
So it was really weird because I actually kind of paid attention to what Hardy was saying. By the way, Hardy, really good at that color. Like,
He's really good, but I if I may go on a short tangent, can we stop with every single fighter who's taking a deep breath is suddenly tiring?
yeah.
That's an MMA related problem, but like Josh Emmett is beating the shit out of Felipe Aranch, and Hardy's like, "Oh, he took a breath. He's tired now." It's like, relax, dude. He wants to get some energy before he starts punching him again. Like, dude, fighters. Joe Rogan's like when Cruz fights and Joe Rogan sees him open his mouth, it's like, oh god, he's got to be like, come on, man, he's fine. He does it all the time.
Yeah, just pay attention to what they do, not their their breathing patterns or whatever. But I thought it was really weird. He mentioned like early on, like I think right before the fight started, that like Ladd told he thought Ladd was going to go to the clinch because that's where she fights the best. Like
I
that's
don't know. Who thought that was a good idea?
like that's the only place in this fight Landsberg stood a chance of winning.
Yeah, I thought it was a horrible first round for Ladd, and then she did her thing.
Yeah, like she is not like even in Invicta, she wasn't a very strong clinch fighter. Her best position is like on top on the ground, throwing ground and pound.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
She's a bit of a volume
she's-
kickboxer. Like she's pretty good at that. Not great. She's strong. Like don't get me wrong. Like, but she's not she's not a good technical clinch fighter. Like Landsberg is exclusively a clinch fighter.
yeah, it didn't make sense.
Lad throws ground and pound with much conviction. I'll say that.
You can hear it when she screams.
Yes. Yes. She 300 Sparta screams every punch. Like.
It
all I
worked
wrote-
because it
yeah.
stopped. It got the ref to stop the
Yeah.
fight early, but
All I wrote was fantastic adjustments for Aspen Ladd, and 135 really needs somebody.
please don't make her fight like I don't know.
I'm not saying just like I wasn't wowed or impressed. Like, man, she's really gonna, because this division is begging for some help.
And it's empty. Like
Yeah, and it's empty. It's emptying out quicker.
yeah, especially when 125 starts
25
getting
gets
legs.
here. Yeah. Everybody's gonna leave.
But
Yeah, 'cause,
like there's no reason for because I can see like Sean Shelby or the UFC brass or whoever the hell makes fights nowadays.
I think
Seeing
it's
Ladd,
for the women.
would it be Maynard or Shelby?
Oh God, I think it's Shelby for the women, and I think actually what might have happened is I think Shelby took Silva's place and Maynard took Shelby's place, so that would mean that Maynard is the guy who.
Well, the thing I can see Ladd getting a quick win here and there, be like, let's throw her in with Leslie Smith.
Wow, that's one of the. That was actually who I thought you were gonna. Or Sarah McMahon. Like, oh, just put her against Sarah
Right.
McMahon.
Yeah,
Doesn't happen.
she beat a person.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like, we don't need that.
Tanya Eppinger's not doing anything. Like,
Yeah, 6 fights into her pro career.
yeah. Protect your assets. That's all you have. Like, protect. You don't have a whole lot of fighters at 135 who are new and kind of fun to watch. You know, you have Caitlin Vieira, and that's pretty much it. So, like, what are you gonna? You know, what are you gonna do with Ladd before you screw that up? Because she's one of your only younger fighters you can get a little excited about.
Yeah, like throw her in there with I don't know, Morass, one of the women coming off a loss.
That division is full of. I'm not gonna say it. That division is full of fighters who are average. I was gonna say like BC fighters. That division's full of fighters who are about average. Don't put her up against one of the above average fighters. Don't put her up against McMahon, Rocky Pennington. Avoid that fight. Avoid.
Like, just give her 2 solid years of average fights.
Yeah, don't give her Chukagian, although I think Chukagian might be dropping.
I was gonna say this division is like the women's version of 205. Almost.
It is now. I mean,
Like,
And it dropped off so fast too. Like it shot up and then like Ronda got head kicked off the planet and then that wasn't a thing anymore. And then Misha retired and
Holly's slumping.
yeah. And it sucks because like Nunes is like such a beast, but yeah. It
Yeah,
sucks.
there are not a lot of bodies, man. Like,
Yeah.
they're really not. And Nunes isn't the sort of personality. Like, I thought she had a chance after she beat Rousey to kind of take the Rousey fan base maybe a little bit, just a little bit, not enough, but just a little bit to be a bigger star. And it was like after the Rousey fight, all she did was bury Ronda Rousey. And like, you're not going to win her fans that way. And I think it ultimately showed. And then she had the weight fiasco, which kind of further dampened her. And then the UFC was like, well, you're 6 feet in. We might as well make you 8 feet into the hole. And they
Right.
buried her a little bit more. So it's like, she's not the kind of draw that's going to. You may be looking at 135 as like a co-main weight class from now on.
yeah.
You know?
Like, the thing is, I think there's a market for like someone like Nunes, but
Right.
I don't think it's a market the UFC can tap, because like we said before, like, the UFC has a certain type of market
Right.
that they are good at tapping into. It's like a sports fan market where like the people who like buy into a Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah.
That's the UFC's market. That's their
They're-
demographic.
40,
Like-
50% sports fans and 40, 50% lapsed wrestling fans.
Yeah, and like someone like Nunes, who is like a successful immigrant story, who is like the UFC's first openly like LGBT champion.
Right.
Like there is something there, but it's not something the UFC is going to pour resources into. So.
Hard to do, and it's hard to do every month when every month you have a different fighter saying things about that potential market that might want to get into the sport. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so this division needs help, or kill it.
No, don't kill it.
Kill it and
Don't
tell
kill
them. Well, I'm saying you could tell it, if you can't find people, you're gonna have to split them to 145, try to get some to 125. Like there's no. They got to develop it or let it go, because otherwise, what's it doing on your shows?
Like, with the new deal coming up, my hope is, and this is literally just a shot in the dark, they revamp Tough, because that's not going away. Like,
no, they're gonna keep that around.
Yeah, they're going to revamp Tough. Like my hope is they revamp Tough, and they literally just sign like 16 women out of like different combat sports. Like,
are you
just
fucking kidding me? Hold on, guys. Got it.
Oh.
No, guys, no, it's nothing. It's nothing related to you guys. Oh God, how do I send this link? Have you seen this Gamrot Norman Park thing?
I saw that it ended in no contest. What happened?
I gotta. God, how can I send it? Jesus, this is awful. Go to. Speaking of which, our I don't know if he's a buddy. Grabaka Hitman has a GIF of Gamrot's cornerman landing a clean left on Norman Park after the fight. Right on.
What?
I'm serious. Go look. Go.
What is with cornermen this year?
Yeah, I'm about to say, like this year, cornermen have been trying to steal the shine.
Nobody's gonna top. God, what fighter? The Puerto Rican fighter. God, what is his name? Oh, he was one of my favorite. Jesus, he fought.
Cornermen have been.
He fought
killing
Salido twice, lost to him twice. Oh God, what is his name? Juan Manuel Lopez. When him and the cornerman were just going at it for like a good 15 seconds, amazing exchange. Do you remember that?
I have to see this.
Oh God, where's the one? You right?
I saw it. Oh my God. Hold up.
Hold on, can we get this in the?
Oh my God.
Yeah, figure out this.
Dude, that's
I'm a
clean
caveman.
as fuck.
Yeah, he's. Juanma Lopez versus the cornerman is in fact on YouTube. There we go.
We got cornerman gone wild. Oh man.
Everything you ever
Dude.
wanted.
Oh my God. He freaking like that's just a clean hook.
That was for Reza Madadi. For when Norman Park made fun of Reza, he has a Polish defender.
There we go.
I miss you, Reza Madadi. How did we get here? How do we?
How do we get anywhere?
How did we get here from? This show is supposed to be like an hour long. We're heading on 3 hours of Sam Alvey and Reza Madadi, and
the first hour of it was us just talking off.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold up. I'm watching I'm watching the Manuel Lopez in the
cornerman's going at it, man.
He landed some good shots.
Yeah, he took a
hold on. He landed the first shot and he literally staggered him.
Yeah,
like
in Juan Manuel Lopez's defense, he just fought like 8 rounds.
That is
He was
true.
A little tired.
Oh man.
Cornerman took a few good shots too, man. That guy's got it.
But he was game though. He was game.
You gotta be
cornerman, man. Nobody saved.
Dude,
what's up?
Who was the Flint boxer from earlier this year?
Oh,
Andre Durrell.
Yeah, Durrell.
His uncle just fucking.
Oh yeah, that what I did.
Then there was the guy from Glory. No, there were crowd members from Glory who just.
From Glory, yeah, who came in? I can't remember the fight.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
I bet Buddy Hari was involved in that somehow. I don't know how, but he's.
We need a cornerman main event or co-main event.
For real.
You know what, Bellator? That's your next thing. Like you guys do. You guys specialize in freak fights.
God.
Get some cornermen going. In the absence of Ken Shamrock and.
You can do Edmund against Norman Stone, John Ruiz's old cornerman. You remember that guy?
I forgot about Edmund.
He ran up to Galata like he was gonna go throw down with him, and then he's trying to fight Galata's cornerman, and they kick him out, and he's just like, I didn't even do anything. I did not.
I feel like ever since Doom kicked Edmund, I haven't seen him since. Like he kicked him out of life.
Was he in Brown's corner when he lost to Atlantic?
Probably. Ooh, that fight.
No,
There was
no,
one
he
more fight
wasn't,
on
he
this
wasn't.
card to.
I remember.
I
mention.
feel like I saw Edmund. Edmund was cornering for a Tuesday night contender thing. He was cornering. God, what is my life that I remember this? He was cornering, I think, Alfred Kazakian, who got KO'd by Tan Lee.
Wow. Like,
I hope that's a wow for how sad it is that I remember.
Like, at this point, if you're still with Edmund, like, you're just a masochist. Like,
Yeah,
you want
I don't
to
know
lose.
Man, I feel.
How does he still make money? How is
He doesn't.
still-
He's bankrupt. Remember?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's rude.
I say, who is willingly walking into that gym like, hey, I want to get,
Ronda was there. That's why.
Like, I don't understand. Like, he's not charismatic. Like, at all.
Dude, he's got a mural with him and Muhammad Ali. If I was a newbie, or if I was a decent fighter.
Well, hold on, no, I can't say he's not charismatic because when Ronda was getting ate alive by Nunes, he was doing some screaming. He was. There was a lot of yelling going on in that
I
corner.
think it was the Koscheck fight where they asked Jake Ellenberger like what he had learned from, like what the training was like, and Ellenberger had like basically no idea. I can't remember what the quote was, where he was just like, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh man! But real quick, because there's one more fight we didn't mention.
And it's a good fight too. I feel bad. I apologize to Josh.
Yeah. Josh Emmett dropped Felipe Arantes like 4 times or something crazy. And Emmett came down from lightweight, right? I believe.
Emmett came down from lightweight and Aranches went up.
Yeah, and Emmett definitely brought that lightweight power down because he repeatedly dropped Felipe, like repeatedly. He looked pretty good. But yeah, I remember saying that, like you mentioned, like somewhere in like the second round, they like, oh, Emmett's tired because he's breathing really hard. It's like, well, maybe he just landed 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying that at the end of the first round. I'm like, dude, he's fine. Relax.
I'm like, and even if he is tired, I mean, he just landed like 80 punches straight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's deserved a bit to catch his wind, and
That was a 10-7 round.
Yeah.
Right, it was.
I'm surprised
clearly.
it wasn't stopped because there's a punch that lands, and the only thing that keeps Aranches up is the cage, and he's not defending for a second. He's like stumbled into it, and Emmett's laying it on him, and I was just like, you can stop this whenever you want, buddy. Like, man.
Yeah. Emmett looked really good though. He looked really good.
He looked aggressive for once. Not for once. He looked aggressive. He looked strong. And I want to give a little shout out to Aranches' corner, who made a great adjustment that just didn't work. They kept going back to the knee, the step-in knee, the jumping knee. Because Emmett was putting his head a little lower, a little lower, a little lower. And if you time it just right, and he did hit him one time and knocked his head back, but power wasn't there. Emmett's a bigger, stronger guy, but they made a good adjustment there, so they do deserve a little respect.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, Hardy, what do you...
Yeah, no.
Let the man breathe.
Seriously. Joe Rogan, not every leg kick is going to cripple a fucking guy. Oh, he got kicked in the leg. Mike. That's got 2 more of those. He's not going to be going anywhere. Took 30 leg kicks. He's fine, dude. Not everybody's Barbosa.
Oh man.
Rogan would have been losing his mind during Till. Because Till kept getting leg kicks. He would have been like, oh, fuck, not now. Little beat.
Oh, man.
So we got any final thoughts on this bad boy?
Darren Till's the man.
Darren Till's the man. European MMA has come a long way.
Can you really say that on the same weekend where Puds just sold like 40,000 tickets?
Yes.
It's all right. It's okay.
You want to know why? Because Kimbo Slice's last fight outdrew anything the UFC's done on Fox in a long ass time.
It's a good point.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, may he rest in peace. We have a very strange MMA audience.
Dude.
Boxing audience wouldn't take this shit. Shane Mosley was fighting on FS1. He was fighting on FS2. No, he was fighting on like CBS.net/Cupid or whatever. It's like MMA. If a Shane Mosley type fighter headlines Vitor Belfort, he's got a headline against Uriah Hall. We got to get.
None of Kimbo's boxing matches, which he had 7 of, were on TV.
MMA is a weird audience, man. Weird audience.
We're
weird people.
Dude, going back, I listened to the JBS, it wasn't this week, I think it was last week, where they were like going over like the beginning of Pride.
Oh yeah, I should have listened to that.
Yeah, no, okay, it was like their 20th anniversary of their first event.
Right.
And just listening to how they put the whole event together, it's just like no wonder we love freak shows so much.
I mean, I missed the Pride era. I got into the UFC era, but even then, I mean, the first season of Tough that I watched in full, pretty sure had a guy. How do I put it? Ejaculating on another man's food, and somehow I still watched. Somehow I still watch the sport. Like it.
I don't think I watched that season.
You didn't see the one? You didn't see Mir Nogueira?
No, the last Tough I remember watching was.
Do not make me Google Mir Nogueira. I don't want that in my browser history.
No, yeah, you don't have to.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
I think the last Tough I watched was whatever one Michael Johnson was on.
That was 12 or 11 or
yeah.
something like
That's
that.
the last one I remember watching.
It's 12. It's 12. It had Brookins.
Yeah, that's the last one I remember
Kyle
watching.
Kingsbury. Why didn't
Oh.
I Google that?
He was the one.
I'm about facts. You know what I mean? Jeff
Oh,
was
God.
digging in Barry Bonds' garbage. I can Google sushi jizz.
God, Kyle, why did you do that, Kyle?
Because ratings and
Yeah, but I'm like,
Yeah.
it's weird. Like,
he got
I
it
was-
got him a job.
I was thinking about this a while ago. Somebody had gotten in touch with the Anti-Cool and was like, or the Anti-Cool jumped into a conversation with like a boxing fan who's like, "There's not enough boxing on," and I'm like, MMA fans, they're just like it's so polar opposite in that if you put on a fight from Taipei and put it on at like SNY at 1 a.m., there's gonna be at least 2 or 3 boxing fans staying up to watch the Taipei fighter, like to watch that boxing event. You could put on the best MMA event possible, but if it came the week before an MMA event, there's going to be an audience that's just like, oh, we just saw one. So it's like so
Yeah.
weird how that divide is, you know.
It's
My-
it
Well-
really is weird. Like
Well, we have a card every week,
Dude,
starting
10 of
this
the
week.
next, yeah, I
right?
just,
we
I
Yeah.
don't have a card every week. We have like 4 or 5 cards every weekend.
Yeah,
Like there is
Yeah.
literally
So-
like if you're a combat sports fan, like if you follow boxing or kickboxing as well as MMA, there's literally something for you every week.
it's the sport that there's no off season. So I could understand getting burnt out, but it's like boxing fans are just like, I was up on Thursday watching like a Golden Boy Promotions, like ESPN2 card with like 7 people in the audience, and it had Glenn Tapia and Gabriel Rosado in the main event. Like that's a problem.
Glenn.
That's a problem.
I always
MMA
feel
fans will turn their nose up to Ferguson Lee. They don't want to see like they can't. I don't know, man.
fucking Glenn Tapia. You made me sad.
Oh,
He's like I can literally see his town from like my window. Passaic. And just like seeing him lose sucks.
that had the best hype package ever. It was like Gabriel Rosado, I believe, is like, Philly fighters are really tough, and then Glenn Tapia's response was like, well, Jersey fighters are pretty tough too. Let's fight. It was just this. It was like the happiest my town's tougher rivalry in Nevada. Come on, guys, we're not even close, dude.
Why are they bringing Gabriel Rosado and like Glenn Tapia to Nevada? Like
I don't
Go-
know. I don't know.
go to-
I wonder if it was like, go ahead.
Golden Boy just like boxing does like weird shit like that where they'll take like why was it Chris Areola and Errol Spence in New York?
Yeah. What was the one that stood out to me? I can't remember. It was like, God. It was like the ultimate Puerto Rico New York rivalry, and it happened like in the middle of nowhere. What was it? I don't remember. But MMA's like that too. Like I'm tired of like MMA events in Vegas. They don't like for the UFC when they sit down and do their scheduling next. I hope there's less Vegas because I think if you put Lee and Ferguson in a different city,
There's more
it might-
hype.
Yeah. Lee's
Like-
from
That and Vegas hasn't adopted the new rules. You guys need to get on the.
Dude, like the Milwaukee card where like Pettis took the title from
Yeah.
Bendo.
yeah,
Like this, I get that it didn't sell gangbusters or whatever,
right.
but it was a special moment.
Yeah, they're like you get those moments. Lee's from Detroit. You could have done it in Detroit. You could have done it in Chicago. Ferguson's got Latin American roots a little bit. He could have done a little something. You know, you could have in Vegas. It's just another fight on a Saturday night. Try
Yeah.
to like. I hope they do try to move them around a little bit.
Like I get financially why it makes sense, but
Oh yeah, but does it
But-
really make sense if you're drawing 800,000? You know what I mean? You could have drawn 800,000 somewhere else with a bigger house without all of that. I'd assume it's expensive to run in Vegas.
like, but I assume they like have a deal in place.
Maybe they probably have a set amount of, but still, like, come on, guys,
It's
I feel like we've had a lot of good business propositions on this episode.
for real.
Yeah,
So can I
we
wrap
need
up this
to,
Poland mess?
we need to get in touch with some people.
Yeah.
And
can we
Who's,
talk
uh,
about how they had the battle for Ohio in fucking Vegas?
There it is. There's one.
I just remembered that. That was stupid.
you got, I don't know. It's got to be an audience. I don't know.
Look,
Vegas. There must be something going on there that we
what's
just
his name?
don't.
Terrence Crawford. They had his first pay-per-view in Vegas. Why wasn't he in? Can't the guy go to like any Nebraska event and just sell out? Like, what was that about?
Dude, like he's a big deal in Nebraska.
Yeah, and they brought him to Vegas. No wonder his pay-per-view didn't do so well.
No wonder like it's so hard to find like local regional scenes around like
Yeah, there's never going to be another Gotti in New Jersey. Gotti would have fought in Vegas a bunch of times.
yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
So you want me to wrap up this Poland deal?
I mean,
Real quick?
Yeah, I think that's overall thoughts. Darren Till's the man. That's pretty much what I gathered. And Karolina is a beast.
And Nasrat Hakrapas, you keep an eye on him. And Poland's
Yeah.
better. Europe is better. Sam Alvey, please.
you know what I really want to know?
What's up?
Did the UFC go to Poland this weekend because KSW was going to be in Ireland?
I bet you, if you sat down, what's his name? Who's the guy who runs Ari Emanuel? If you sat him down and said, "What is KSW?" he would have no he'd be lost.
Well, I assume it's Dana White's decision.
I
or-
bet you Dana doesn't even know. Did you ever hear the thing where he's like, SFL had just gotten off the ground and one of the reporters is asking about it and he thought it was like a joke, like he was fucking with him, and then he says something like the Super Fuckhead League. I've never even heard of it.
Wait, I want to actually remember. Oh my God, Poland. We're talking about like remember before, like it was like a year before the UFC went to Poland. They did ask him about KSW, and he had like no idea Poland had an
He
MMA
lives
scene.
like. It's like you hear the stories about Vince McMahon. They're like in that bubble nonstop. Like I think
Yeah.
he's kind of that way.
Yeah,
Because he's just like, I can't remember if it was Tyrone Spong who he was really excited about, and then he had like no idea it was his debut fight, like that one World Series of Fighting show. He was just like, oh, he didn't look that
Yeah.
good. It's like his first fight. Who's fighting nobody? Well, it's his first fight, dude.
Dana doesn't pay attention to us peasants.
No, he's got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, he's got other Dana things to do, other fighters to throw under the bus.
After this
and-
weekend, he's gonna have a phone call he's gonna have to handle.
oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. What are you gonna say to him?
Yeah.
He's the biggest draw you got. You're gonna please apologize.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, pretty decent card, top to bottom. Some bland moments, but we got rewarded with a nice main event.
Yeah,
that
these
was
events have a low bar to pass, and this one passed it pretty good.
Yeah,
So-
it passed.
and it's the
so.
worst UFC show until a long time towards the end of the year. So they're like, you're gonna get good events coming up. So this was just like a thing to hold you over.
This is
Yeah, this is the preseason before we get to.
I'm never gonna live that down, am I? The next time I'm gonna be on here on that Shanghai card. Yeah, the preseason event we got.
hey, and that I'm coming to bat for that Shanghai card. You have the
Dude,
king
how
of
much?
Kung Fu.
I don't understand what people are upset about. The budget is probably like X. Anderson Silva is probably X plus.
Well, I imagine it's like that for like the Australia card. I imagine somebody is giving them money to go to Shanghai.
Oh, you
You're
think there's money market involved?
Yes, like a government mark, because that's what
Oh,
that's what you need to be successful in China. Like you
look,
need
I don't
a
need to hear. I don't want the Chinese government mad at me. Money market. A businessman, Chinese
Yeah.
business gentleman, a
Yeah.
fine lad.
I can't afford those problems.
Yeah, you know what? No, but I'm just saying,
But,
like they're just put on entertaining fights in a new market. You have a big star who came in. I don't see like a Tijong. God, what was his name? Ken Jong, the Mongolian Wolf. Like, I don't see any of those guys involved. It seems like a okay card for what it is.
I think the problem.
It'll work.
I think the problem.
All
They
the
can't afford those guys. Like,
Well,
who's the guy who fought War Machine? Who came out of China? God,
Vaughn Anderson.
Vaughn Anderson. In an interview before that fight, he was talking about he was making like $20,000 fighting on like random pop-up events in China.
I wonder if they try to put Angela Lee under a mask. Could they pull that off?
Hey, I'm all for it.
Why not?
But I'm like, besides, fucking guys, this card is going to start at like 4 a.m. If you're up at 4 a.m. watching this show, that's your problem. You have an issue, not them. If you're up at 4 a.m. to watch the prelims to a Shanghai UFC card, that's you.
I mean, I will.
Well, I'm going to be up too, but that's like, you know, isn't like...
If I'm able to, I will try.
I mean, it's like a given. Like, I woke up for worse cards.
This is why the SFL stays in business, because of sick people like you and I and other people.
The SFL is quality programming.
Somebody has to keep the world spinning. It's a tough job.
Yeah,
but,
you know, we got to make sure that those trees that do fall via bulldog choke are heard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody has to do it. We're on the front line, so we'll be the first people recording KOs and giving play-by-play. So that's us.
Like war correspondents now.
we got this.
Very tense atmosphere in the Mountain Dew prep point, John.
I guess before we wrap this up, next card, for whatever it's worth, Lyoto Machida, Derek Brunson.
Really good.
That'll be a thing.
Really good card.
The rest of the top two fights kind of look like they could be dull, but like the rest of that card is like heat.
Yeah, Rob Font, Pedro Munoz, Trinaldo Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, Lineker and Marlon Vera.
Gotta plug him because he tweeted me and told me what's up one time. Thiago Maneta fights on this card, so everybody watch that. He fights
Jack Hermanson.
Swedish.
Hermanson.
Is that Jack Hermanson?
So,
yep.
Is that Marshman?
Yep.
No, it's
Hermanson.
Hermanson, yeah, he's the big, lanky kind of...
Yeah, Marshman's fighting Antonio Carlos Jr.
Put that fight together.
So, that's coming up next, I think it's next Saturday.
Yeah, it's a good show if you like MMA. It's a solid event. The Polish card was all right. It was all right for what it was. This card has potential to be really good.
Yeah, so that'll be happening, and of course we got Bisming GSP coming up. Feel like that'll be here quicker than we think it will. But I guess to wrap up, parting shots and shout outs. I only got one. My parting shout out will go to Alex Pereira. I forgot when this card was, Glory 46. I know I watched it, I just can't remember where it was. But yeah, man, he took it to Simon Marcus. I'm not gonna say I was surprised he won, but like he looked really good. And shame on you, ESPN, for having whatever technical difficulties, because my stream went out, and it wasn't just me. Like, the stream literally cut out from like round 3 to like round 4. So from the parts that I did see, Pereira looked really good. But ESPN, you guys gotta do better, man. You can't have streams cutting out on title fights. Like, that's not a good look. That happens when I bootleg fights. It's not supposed to happen when I do the right thing and watch it on the network.
We were so good. We were doing so well. This was such a positive experience.
Speaking of bootlegs, I don't know if I mentioned this on the last for UFC 216, but I actually paid for that card to support my boy Mighty Mouse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did the numbers come out?
Yeah.
Did the numbers come out?
Yeah, they
for
did.
what they did?
140,000, something like that. Point being,
140.
like,
jeez,
the first 3 fights of that card were damn near unwatchable.
Really?
Because it kept cutting out. It was like it was worse than the stream. Like, when the quality played, they played.
This has turned into parting shots. Has turned into a shoot. We're like
right.
letting them go now. I should have saved my Sam Alvey energy for here.
You guys got to do better with your production value. But shout out to Pereira though, man. That dude's yeah, especially if you're paying. But Pereira was a beast, man. He looked really good out there. Not sure who he gets next if they run this back for rematch, but yeah, whoever has the task of taking the belt from him, good luck to you. And it was an awesome card actually, all the way through. So if you haven't watched it, Glory 46 was awesome.
Except for the sad part.
Oh yeah, don't watch don't watch that fight, which we will not mention. Oh, you mentioned it, so.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't watch that show. It's like you're talking above my head.
Yeah, great card minus that fight. Great card minus that fight that we didn't need to see. But yeah, that's my parting shot.
I got a few actually. Shouts to new WBA world champion Ryota Murata, 2012 Olympian from Japan. He becomes only the second middleweight champion in Japanese history. He beat Endam in a fight where it shouldn't have needed to take place because he beat him back in, was it May? But some judge gave it to Endam despite the fact he got knocked down like twice or something like that. Shouts to Raquel Miller, former U.S. national team member who goes to 5-0 as super welterweight. She's probably going to end up fighting Clarissa Shields at one point. They fought as amateurs and she lost, obviously, but she's been really fun to watch. And shouts to the last semifinalist in the World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight Tournament, Murat Gassiev. I'm not sure when you saw this. Like, did you guys see the KO?
I saw what you posted, I think, right?
Yeah.
Don't think I saw that.
Gassiev destroyed this man on a uppercut body punch combination that was just sickening, and he did not move for like 9 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. But Joe, if you got anything, go ahead.
Man, I don't know how to follow all that up. First, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, none of this would be possible. I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank my sponsors: Muscle Farm, Torque.
Whoa! You getting paid?
They're not paying me nothing. So, no, you know what? Honest to God, first thing I want to say is you guys have been doing this and offering me this chance to kind of get on here, and this is basically like a 3-hour shit post for me. So you guys have given me the opportunity on multiple occasions, and I've always been busy. So I really do thank you guys for being patient and for giving me the chance just to kind of spill my whatever knowledge I may have about this. The most dumb things I have knowledge about MMA. I really do appreciate it, and so I thank you guys for that.
Just real quick. Back before I knew what podcasts were, I listened to you and Alex.
Oh wow! Sorry.
No, but that's the whole. Now I listen to 30 a week because I have a desk job and everything.
Yeah, me too. I don't listen to any podcasts, but yeah.
But
no, I really do appreciate you guys for giving me this chance. This is a great show. If you're a first time listener, you're probably not a first time listener, but if you are, always listen to this because it's always really knowledgeable. These guys are great. I wanted to make sure before I left that I put you guys over for first off, this is a lot of shit to do and you do it consistently, and you guys did put up with me and get me on this, so I do appreciate that. Anything else?
That KO was nasty. I just rewinded this for about the third time now.
I was looking at it. I have a point to look at.
I'm a bit concerned that this.
I appreciate you guys, and is there anything I want to? Nah, just keep listening, and hopefully I'll be back. Apparently, I didn't ask, but I've already been booked for New York, so I got
clear your schedule.
But I got to clear. I will make sure that I'm good for that. If it's Bisping and GSP and it's bad, you're gonna hear about it. That's it, dude. Just the last thing I guess I could say is support local MMA, support your local boxing scene. There's more than just the UFC. There's more than just HBO, Showtime, etc., etc. Everybody knows a guy who's into what I mean. Spread the sport, spread love, be positive, people. So that's about it.
Everybody knows the fighter. Shout out to my friend Scott Noble.
Yeah, everybody knows a dude who's not fighting on the, in the UFC or on Golden Boy Promotions that's making. Everybody knows a ticket seller. Put it that way. And that's it. And unless you guys got something you want to add.
Oh, quick mention, Jermell Charlo, that KO.
Oh yeah, he
watched that.
Yeah,
because that was a thing. Yeah, that happened. We didn't get a chance to talk about that, but
I forgot all about that. Yeah, he murdered Erickson Lubin.
Yeah, I've rewatched that KO so many times.
The HBO card that was apparently last night, I didn't see it. I was working.
Oh yeah, Jezreel Corrales got like the shit murdered out of him. Machado knocked him out cold.
I see. What a perfect way to put it. How gentle.
I mean, this is a rough business.
I got it.
Beautiful violence. That's what I like to call it.
Matthias Gamrot reacts to his cornerman punching Norman Park at KSW 40. Says it was normal. Okay. All right, pal.
Cornermen get the last parting shot. We appreciate you guys for what you do.
Yeah, keep having fights, because sometimes you're better than the fights we actually get.
Exactly.
All right. Somebody got to throw the real punch.
Well, Justin Wren. Shout out to Justin Wren. Keep doing good work.
Yeah, we love the Pygmy people.
God.
Don't
Oh, my.
Oh, we're gonna get taken down.
Reza Madadi, shout out to Reza Madadi for whatever he's doing right now. You're the man, Reza.
But this has been episode 52. As always, anytime people are being kicked and or punched in the face, we will be there to talk about it. And hopefully we will catch you guys soon. Peace.